David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names. David Scott Kelly.
Pitch to Morales, and that one is lined right to the second baseman. Crawford throws to first, double play. The game is over, and the Bears will move on to play in the semifinals tomorrow afternoon. Morales lines to Crawford at second. They double off Summerhill at first, and this ball game is over.
Yeah, remember when Brian Jeffries was talking about last Saturday night, and like the last thing he wanted to see happen was Arizona hit into a double play as they were trying to make their way back to beat the Oregon State Beavers. Well, that's what happened last night at the end with Arizona batting in the 9th inning and a chance to come all the way back after they were down 7-1 against the California Golden Bears and had clawed their way back to 7-5. And, you know, the first thing, so I was driving. I went and got a little workout in last night, and I got back in my car, and I think it was just about the time that Maddox Mikalakis hit his 3-run home run. And the first thing that comes to my mind is 9 lives. Here we go. 9 lives. This is a Cat team that just will not go down. Give them an opportunity, give them a slither of a hope, and they feel like they've got a chance to do just about anything. But the California Golden Bears were able to right their ship, get the last 3 outs they needed in the 9th, and they win Pool A. How about that? The California Golden Bears, who might be one of the hottest teams. We talked about Oregon State last week being the hottest team of the Pac-12, but California has won 20 of their last 25 games, and they're winning again today, early, in the Pac-12 semifinals, the first of 2 semifinals at Scottsdale Stadium. The Golden Bears are up 2-0 already on Southern California in the bottom of the 2nd inning. So California trying to get to the Pac-12 tournament semifinals. If they can win this tournament, they would get the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. And that would be another team assuredly in for the Pac-12 conference. Of course, the second game tonight will feature your Arizona Wildcats against the Stanford Cardinal. You will hear that game right here on Wildcats Radio 1290 beginning at 6:50 with Brian Jeffries. We have got you right up until that time. We'll take you right up until 6:50 tonight with coverage. In fact, it'll be DK on the Sports Tip from 3 to 6, and then it's going to be your Arizona baseball pre-game extra from 6 to 6:55, or 6 to 6:50, I should say, as we take you right up to Brian Jeffries and Arizona baseball tonight, live from Scottsdale. 520-848-1290 is the number for you if you want to get into the program on this Friday, Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure some of you, this is Tucson. Most Fridays, people are already off and away at around 2:30.
Most Thursdays is the end of work week for a lot of people. Right?
Yeah, some people did have the extra day off today. But we're here because there's a game tonight. There's a big baseball game. So we are here with you, getting you set. If you're tooling around, getting ready for whatever you've got going on, if you're picking up that final bit of charcoal for the grill, if people still use charcoal. A lot of you probably don't use charcoal.
Well, we live in mesquite country, so I'm sure there's some of that too.
Okay.
I would imagine. I think there's a lot of different ways to grill a steak these days in a burger.
The first cookout weekend of the summer. That's what the summer growing up was all about. 3 cookout days. You had Memorial Day was the first cookout day. 4th of July was the next cookout day. And then Labor Day to wrap things up was the final cookout day before you went back to school.
Does that apply to a place where it could be in the 80s in February? Or is that just for places that have seasons?
Yeah, I think it's really just for places that have seasons.
It's great.
We might be cooking out here in February, but it's not really like it's a cookout is a summer term.
Right.
It's a summer term.
I mean, it's nice. I lived in Oregon for 3 years. I've lived in places that had 7 months of the year where you didn't want to be outside because it was cold. I've been there. And so that whole idea of getting to a time of year, DK, when you can be outside, you can wear shorts and all that, I get it. Just growing up here in Tucson, yeah, I mean, barbecuing in February is just fine too.
Yeah. So Arizona, again, last night put themselves in a little bit of a hole in their game against the California Golden Bears. Jackson Kent, we'll get to Jackson Kent. Jackson Kent is struggling, and we got to kind of figure that out. But he got down early in this game in the 2 scoreless innings. It's kind of like his start against Oregon State. First 2 innings were kind of nice, got through them. But then Peyton Schultz came up in the 3rd inning. And with 2 on, Jackson had walked the first batter, given up a single. And with 1 out, Peyton Schultz made him pay.
He had that knack, and really the starters have had that knack of getting ahead of hitters. He gets behind here tonight. The 2-0 is hit in the air to left field. Back on that one is Rogers, and that's out of here. Peyton Schultz with his 9th home run of the year, a 3-run home run, and the Bears are up 3-0 here in the 3rd.
3-0, and then on the bump for them was none other than Luke Short, and he was firing at all cylinders early.
Here's the 2-2 now to Summerhill. Strike 3 called, and the inning is over. And Luke Short has allowed 1 base runner through 3 innings. That was a 2-out walk to Mason White in the 1st.
Wildcats would try to get something back. Still down 3-0 in the 4th. Richie Morales would start things off with a single. Garen Caulfield had a 1-out single to put Morales on 3rd for Maddox Mikalakis.
So far, so good here in the 4th. Now the Wildcats need some runs. First pitch hit high in the air to left field. That should be enough to score Morales. Back on it is Burden. Near the track, he'll make the catch, tagging at 3rd. Morales, he'll come home to score, and the Wildcats are on the board now, trailing 3-1.
So back to within 2 at that point were the Arizona Wildcats. But again, Jackson Kent in some trouble now in the 5th inning, as he would have to face with runners on one of the better hitters in this California lineup. I mean, and it's a team right now that is really hot, and one of their hot hitters is Rodney Green Jr.
Nobody up in the Arizona bullpen. Looks like some guys are going to start stretching out there. The 0-1 to the plate. That's driven down the right field line. That's a fair ball. It's going to go all the way to the wall. In to score will come Advin Hula. Loma Vida is headed around 3rd. He will score, and the Bears are up now 5-1. A 2-run double for Rodney Green Jr.
And then the next batter to the plate, none other than, again, Peyton Schultz.
So the Cal Bears, arguably the hottest team in the league, certainly looked good a couple days ago, beating Washington 12-0, out to a 5-1 lead here on Arizona. And the first pitch hit deep to left off the bat of Schultz. Could this be a 2nd home run of the night? And it is. A 2-run home run. It's 7-1 California. Schultz now with 10 home runs. He's got a 5 RBI night going, and the Bears have broken this game open here in the top of the 5th inning.
7-1, looking not too good. The Beaver fans in attendance not real happy because they needed Arizona to win that game to get into the semifinals. Bottom of the 6th, Mason White swinging his big heavy stick.
And in the bottom of the 6th inning, Mason White will lead it off. Then we'll see Garen Caulfield and Maddox Mikalakis. Bears up by 6 runs, and the first pitch coming to White, and it's hit deep to right field. And like last night, a home run for White to right field, and this one almost as far out as the one we saw last night. His 19th home run of the season, and the Wildcats now down 7-2. RBI number 65 for Mason White.
Solo shot for Mason White, and Peyton Schultz would come up in the 7th. Could he get a third home run?
And here's one guy you probably don't want to see with a man on, and that's Peyton Schultz. 2 home runs in this game. He's driven in 5 of the 7. So here's the 1-0 now, and that's hit deep to left field. Could he have hit a third one? Rogers on the run, back to the track, and makes a diving, running catch out in left field. Wow. Brandon Rogers, that was outstanding. A full sprint to his right, stretched out to Rob Schultz, and there's one away.
And if you thought Brandon Rogers was done defensively, well, think again.
So Button batting for Smaldino, and the pitch, and it's lined down the left field line. If that's a fair ball, Rogers making another diving catch in fair territory for out number 2, and Brandon Rogers has robbed 2 Bears tonight with beautiful catches out in left field. My goodness. Like I said, he continues to look more and more comfortable.
It was still 7-2 at that point. However, bottom of the 8th, Maddox Mikalakis would come to the plate. 2 runners would be on for Arizona after Mason White got a single, and Garen Caulfield followed Mason White's single with a single of his own.
Bats left against the righty, Stasiowski, and here's the pitch, and that's drilled to right and fairly deep. It could be. It is out of here. Mikalakis with a 3-run shot, and the Wildcats are back in this game. They needed a big hit, and they just got it.
Maddox Mikalakis made it a 7-5 game, 9th inning. Wildcats needed to get a guy on. They got that guy on, Brendan Summerhill. A 1-out single. Richie Morales trying to keep the rally going.
The pitch to Morales, and that one is lined right to the second baseman. Crawford throws to first, double play. The game is over, and the Bears will move on to play in the semifinals tomorrow afternoon. Morales lines to Crawford at second. They double off Summerhill at first, and this ball game is over.
7-5 your final. California Golden Bears. Cal playing USC right now in the first semifinal. It started at 2:30. Top of the 3rd. Golden Bears 2, Trojans nothing. Winner goes to the Pac-12 Tournament Championship game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Game number 2 in Scottsdale will be Arizona and Stanford. 7:05 first pitch. Our coverage will begin at 6:50. We'll have much more coming up for you. Roxy Bernstein is going to join us on the show today. He will call tonight's game. He called last night's game. I believe he's called all the Arizona games so far at the Pac-12 tournament. So Roxy will join us, and we'll chat a little bit about what has happened to this point in this final Pac-12 tournament. Joining us now, though, is the 3rd member of our team.
Sup, man?
The weekend. That's up.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. It's the weekend. It's the Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
It's a long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of good stuff, I'm sure, is happening around southern Arizona, and Cricket is here to tell you all about what's up this weekend.
Well, surprisingly, it's kind of a light weekend this weekend, but there are some fun events like movies at Reed Park at 6 p.m. tonight with, of course, the movie, but before the movie, like music, games, and prizes and food trucks. This evening, 6 p.m. at Reed Park for Movies in the Park. How about some Cowboy Carter? How about a Beyonce listening party this evening at the Revel Wine Bar? 8 o'clock tonight, $15 reserved seating this evening. You can chill at the Chul all summer long on
That's
Friday.
where I'm going to be tonight.
Are you doing that?
I'm going to go. I'm chilling at the
cool.
Chul after we get done here tonight.
I'm excited to hear about what it's like. I've never been there. So chilling at the Chul at Tohono Chul happens 6 to 9 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays all summer long through August. And then tomorrow night is the first night of Summer Safari Nights at Reed Park Zoo.
We had.
I see your flyer right there.
Yes,
It's so cute.
Yes, Summer Safari. We're gonna talk to Deborah Carr about that on Tucson in Review coming up on Sunday. So if you've never had a chance to check out Tucson in Review, it airs on all 5 of our stations, and we'll talk to Deborah Carr about Summer Safari Nights.
What is that? Is that a lemur? on your picture?
This is
It's so
lemur?
cute.
Yeah, that's a lemur
I want one.
for sure. You want one as a pet?
Yes.
Yes.
They
I
probably
kinda-
give good hugs.
Yeah, they're
I
so
kind of see you as one of those. I see when I was growing up, I wanted the thing I wanted was a ferret. That's what I wanted.
They're
I wanted a
little
ferret.
smelly.
Are they?
I bet
Yeah, they got a
lemurs
little
are-
like a musk gland, and so
Mm.
I've been
that's
around people
true.
who had ferrets. They're very cute, very cute.
They're
Yeah.
adorable animals, but yeah, they look like they smell.
Just a
All
little
animals
bit.
smell.
I'm not trying to
All-
like just
All animals smell.
sure.
I mean, and I bet those do too. They're cute though.
Cute but smelly.
You'd have to probably go to 6 years of school to have a lemur at home, though. I think that's a little more specific.
Oh, school. I like school.
Yeah, I know you
I
do.
like school.
We heard that about you.
I want to get a degree in lemurs.
Well, I'm sure there's one available.
I'm sure.
I'm sure there's one available. You can get a job with our folks up at the Tucson Wildlife Center.
Oh, I would love that.
Taking care of animals that are injured. that kind of
Coyotes.
thing. Yeah, right there. I heard there's some new babies
Yeah, let's not
with
talk
the,
about that.
with the coyotes.
Let's not talk
No?
about that.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
pretend like that didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pictures
I
or
lied.
didn't happen, I think is what
I
they say.
lied.
So
I
Oh.
lied. It's really not happening.
Oh, okay. All right. Right. Whatever you all say, I'll go along with it.
Thank you.
All right. We'll have more cricket and things to do here in Tucson and Southern Arizona coming up a little bit later. But right now, I'm sure the streets are packed with people who have already left work 2 hours ago and are tutzing around trying to figure out what's going on this weekend. So cricket will make sure that the streets are safe for you.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Signals malfunctioning downtown at Congress and Stone. Mostly some westbound slowing. Crashes that are clearing 22nd at I-10. La Cañada and River Road, some slowing on southbound Craycroft at Grant, also southbound Craycroft at Speedway. 65 overnight, 90 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday, and 99 on Memorial Day, and 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Juicy Juice. It's spring, which means your kids are busy. For an easy go-to, give them Juicy Juice. 100% fruit juice, only sweetened by the fruit. No sugar added, no high fructose corn syrup, and no artificial sweeteners. Find Juicy Juice at your favorite local grocery retailer. Info at juicyjuice.com.
The very best in play-by-play is on Tucson's best sports station, Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the home of the Wildcats and NFL play-by-play. This is the one and only Wildcats Radio 1290.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserGarage.com for more information.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Hey guys, what are you...
Gotta take this. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Thank you for... Uh-huh. Right. You don't say. Uh-huh. Now.
Hold it. What's with all the nows?
People want to know the best time for an elastification.
And you're telling them...
Hello? Now.
Well, there's no bad time for elastification, but the best time is now.
Pretty soon, Arizona temps are going to put a strain on your AC. Now is really the best time.
You're not telling people about all the money they save?
Now.
Or how Alaskan AC will make their AC last longer?
Now.
Or the big 1-year guarantee that their AC will not break down?
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Well, Ron wants to tell you a bunch of stuff. I know. That's kind of what I told him. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, now.
The best time for elastification is...
now.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com. Now.
Extend the life of your engine with regular oil changes and save at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, pick up 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $31.99. Or upgrade to a MicroGuard Select filter for just $2 more. Limits apply. Available in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Android users, you can tune in to the home of the Wildcats by downloading our new app at the Google Play Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. Summer is here. Not officially, but it is, as we like to know it. And with summer comes summertime soccer here in Southern Arizona, as both FC Tucson and the FC Tucson women are set to open up their seasons. The fellas are on the road. They're going to be taking on Ventura County, the Fusion, to open up their season tonight. And then Capo FC out in Southern California tomorrow. The ladies will open up play in the Women's Premier Soccer League on Saturday over in El Paso. We're pleased to be joined by one of the members of the FC Tucson women's squad this season. Her name is Katie Rexios. Katie, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, Katie, tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and how you ended up here with the FC Tucson women's side.
Yeah, I'm from the Bay Area in Northern California. I grew up playing Pleasanton Rage soccer there, and then I went on to San Francisco State, where I played a season. And then after graduation, I played in the WPSL with the San Francisco Nighthawks and San Ramon SC. And then I came out here to Arizona when I got into veterinary medical school at University of Arizona. So I'm going to graduate in a couple months, and I just joined the team with FC Tucson at tryouts a couple weeks ago.
So you only played 1 year in college. Why was that? You only played 1 year?
Yeah, I played that one season with San Francisco State, and as a freshman, I was doing pretty well, and I was hoping to transfer to a Division I school. So I actually went to Santa Barbara City College after, where I had a great time, and I got to play a lot of soccer. I led the state in assists. I broke some school records. I had a really great time. But when you transfer from a 4-year college to a 2-year, and then you want to go back to a 4-year, the NCAA has very specific academic rules for certain classes you have to take. And my counselor and I did not realize that. So I played at Santa Barbara City College, and then I went into the NAIA. I did 1 season at CSU San Marcos. So I kind of bounced around a bit. I had a little bit of a non-traditional soccer path.
Nice. Now, so obviously you're no stranger to the WPSL or having played at it, obviously in those other locations. So when you came down here, Did you know that this team was here? Did you find out about it after you got down here? And then kind of what was the process to determine, like, well, I'm in medical school, but yeah, maybe I can play a little soccer on the side and go back to my love.
Yeah, I think women's soccer, especially kind of the post-college area, it's a little bit of a small world. So you keep your eye on the WPSL and you're aware of the other teams that are playing. I didn't come to Tucson to play here specifically, but knowing that there was a WPSL team here when I was getting accepted into the school was just kind of in the back of my mind, like maybe I could do it. I also have 2 children, so I wasn't sure if that was going to be possible. But for me, especially being a veterinary student, we talk so much about mental health and how important it is to have something away from school. And soccer was always just such an important part of my life and was such a positive that when I'm in my clinical rotation year and I'm coming up on my vacation block where I have 4 weeks of not being in a hospital, I just thought, what a perfect opportunity to be able to play for a team and get back to it and really work on my mental health and my physical health as well.
We're joined by Katie Rexius of the FC Tucson women's side. She's a midfielder for the ladies. They'll be on the road tomorrow in El Paso. So how long did it kind of take you? Let me start. When was the last time you had played? And then when you got onto the pitch again here in Tucson, how long did it kind of take you to get back into the flow?
Yeah, the last time I played competitively was probably with San Ramon FC. That was, I don't know, maybe 2016, something like that.
Wow, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, and then I just dabbled around the Tucson Adult Soccer League, and I was like, you know what, I actually do really miss this, and I miss playing really competitive soccer, with players that are training and want to play a high quality of soccer. So I just miss that aspect of the game, and I saw that tryouts were coming up, and it was kind of this perfect opportunity, and the team's just been so awesome, so I'm really glad I did.
And so you mentioned you have 2 children. I would imagine maybe your children are a little bit older now as well, so that may be allowed for this opportunity for you to take?
Well, yeah, I have a 4-year-old son, and my daughter's a 1.5 years.
Okay.
So I don't have a newborn or anything, but yeah, that was another reason I think I wanted to step up and do this and show my kids, that you don't have to just be one thing, right? I don't just have to be a veterinary student. I can be a soccer player still, and that it's important to follow what you want to do.
So what's it like being obviously, someone maybe that's a little bit older than some of the girls you're playing with out there?
Yeah, I had no idea how that was going to go. I showed up to tryouts and I'm like, I'm going to be the grandma here. But no, it's been really great. I mean, the girls are so encouraging and so positive, and I think it just helps change the dynamic on the field too. I remember being a new player in college, and you're just kind of running off of that anxious energy of like, I don't really know what I'm doing out here. It's a new level of play. And so I think what maybe I can bring to the team is that I have been at this level before, and you can kind of be that calming presence out there that's like, yeah, it's okay. We all do know how to play soccer, and we all are here for one reason. So, just because you're 19 and I'm not 19 anymore, that's okay.
Katie Rexius joining us. She is a midfielder for the FC Tucson women's team. The ladies will start their 10-game summer campaign on Saturday over in El Paso. You mentioned, obviously, you are a veterinary medicine student over at the U of A. What attracted you to want to be a vet?
Yeah, so when I was playing soccer, I competed in hunter jumpers in the equestrian realm, riding horses. So I grew up doing that, and for a while wanted to be a jockey, and then I decided maybe that wasn't the life for me. And you have your family pet that you grow up with, and you take them to the vet, and you're like, wow, that's so cool. They get to help animals. So I got to see how horses could be helped, and dogs and cats, and I just kind of fell in love with it from an early age. But I didn't know where soccer was going to take me or my school was going to take me. So it's been a windy path, but I feel like both of them have contributed to where I'm at.
And so obviously this is an FC Tucson women's side that's had some success in recent years, although, they're on their 3rd coach in 3 years with Roberto Garcia taking over. What can we expect from this squad this year?
Yeah, I have been so impressed by them. Coach is just very professional about everything, and he wants all of us players to understand that, we are here to play high-level soccer, and along with that comes the support that we need as well. Like, he wants to make sure that we have the athletic trainer access when we need it, that we have locker rooms and nice kits, and that we feel like we're taken care of, and, yoga instructors if we need it. So I really like his vision for the team and everything he's talked about so far, and everything that I've seen from him so far has just been really encouraging. And the whole environment of the club is that they want to take this to the next level. And it's something that I haven't seen with other WPSL teams. So it's really exciting for women's soccer to have that.
Katie Rexius joining us. She is a midfielder for the FC Tucson women's side. The ladies have 10 games on their schedule, the first of which will be tomorrow night in El Paso, and then they'll play again on Wednesday up at RSL, over at RSL Southern Arizona, before their first game at home at Keno North Stadium will be next Saturday, June the 1st, against SC Del Sol. So what have they told you? I'm sure you have some veteran young ladies on the team that are back that have played this league before. What have they told you about this league that you guys are in this in terms of this division of the WPSL?
Yeah, I think the biggest news that I've heard is that SC Del Sol is ranked very highly this year. Even outside of the conference, I think the entire WPSL ranks them as number 6. So that they're going to be a very good game. We can expect really high quality soccer from them. So that's a game I know we're all really looking forward to. That's our home opener. As far as the other teams, we haven't really had a lot of time to discuss them so far because LC Del Sol has kind of been the hot topic. But yeah, I've heard that we can be pretty competitive and that we're looking forward to raising our level this year.
So when do you graduate?
August 22nd.
So it's coming up.
Yeah, almost an actual doctor.
So then what's the next step for you in that realm? Do you stay here? Will you go and pursue your veterinary medicine somewhere else?
I'm not sure at this point. I think, when I walked out onto tryouts, I had absolutely no expectations. And then you start playing soccer again and it's like, oh man, I really love this game and there's a reason why I played this my entire life. So it's, in my mind, worth pursuing this season and just seeing how my own game develops. Because veterinary medicine, that's something that I will always have now. I'll always have that degree and something I can do for the rest of my life. But soccer might not be something I can do the rest of my life. So I'm really just trying to keep my options open and kind of see what comes my way.
Outstanding. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you out on the pitch. Katie Rexius, how do you describe yourself as a midfielder?
Yeah, I think I was a little bit of an accidental midfielder. I was always kind of like a winger and kind of that speed player. I ran track in college as well. And then I was on a team that just didn't have very much strength in the midfield. So I said, sure, I'll try it out. And I like being that technical player. I like having the field vision to try and open up the field and give us more avenues than we thought we had before. But I also like adding width to the game. So I like playing outside and trying to kind of swing things around. So I think a lot of the other girls have very interesting styles. Like some are kind of like me and some are very different. So I'm really excited to see how we all come together.
Outstanding. Well, Katie, we're looking forward to this season and best of luck to you and the FC Tucson women.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Katie Rexius, FC Tucson women's midfielder. The ladies, again, will start their season tomorrow on the road against El Paso, the El Paso Surf Soccer Club. Then up at down here, I should say, at RSL Southern Arizona. I'm not sure where RSL Southern Arizona plays their home games at, but I'm sure it's probably somewhere over on the east side of town, perhaps at one of the high schools. And then the ladies will take on SC Del Sol, which you heard Katie say is probably the best team in the league in the division this year. And that'll be next Saturday, June the 1st, 7 p.m. at Keno North Stadium. 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. Roberto Garcia has taken over the FC Tucson women's program. He is in his first year as the head coach. Obviously, they were run for a long time by Kelly Pierce here locally, who won several national or several state championships as a player at South Point Catholic. Now has become the incredibly successful soccer coach over at South Point Catholic and was doing some double duty there for a number of years, coaching both South Point Catholic and FC Tucson. But she has turned those reins over, and now Roberto Garcia is the third coach that they've had in the last 3 years, and we'll see if he can continue that success. Much more straight ahead. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We're taking you all the way to 6:50 and Brian Jeffries' coverage of Arizona football on this program. Today, you're going to hear from Jim Anderson. The golf team is underway out at the NCAA championships. Their bags did not get thrown around like the East Tennessee State team's bags got thrown around. So we'll find out what's going on with your Wildcats and hear what Jim Anderson's expectations are for his team coming up.
Just don't give that side eye to the baggage handlers. You'll be fine.
I've never think I've actually encountered a baggage handler. Most of them, it's hard unless they're looking up at me when I'm standing in the window and I give him the side eye from up there. He's like, I know which bag is yours, my man.
Yeah, I don't think those videos show people mad at individuals. I think they're just kind of mad at life and
mad
the world.
At life, mad at the world. Absolutely. You know who's not mad? Cricket. And she doesn't want you to be mad driving around Tucson this afternoon.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Traffic signals malfunctioning at Congress and 6th Avenue in Congress, and also signals malfunctioning at Congress and Stone Avenue and Congress. And for your weather overnight, 65. The overnight low for tomorrow, 90, 94 on Sunday, and 99 on Memorial Day, and 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Primatene Mist. During an asthma attack, every second feels like an eternity. Primatene Mist works fast. It's clinically shown to open airways quickly, providing quick relief of mild symptoms of intermittent asthma. Get the #1 FDA-approved over-the-counter asthma inhaler. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again.
The feeling you get when gas prices go up again. Now you can lose that feeling forever, because O'Reilly Chevrolet lets you say goodbye to gas stations and hello to savings with their state-of-the-art Blazer EVs. If you're looking for a vehicle with zero emissions and a dealership with zero hassle, look no further than O'Reilly.com. Call 747-8000 or test drive one today on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Charge into the future at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Is Charlie Woods the most anticipated, follow in the footsteps child of an athletic Hall of Famer we've ever had? Bronny James, as good as he may be, still has to compete within the parameters of a team sport. Golf is individual. Dale Earnhardt Jr. came along just at the beginning of the social media era. I don't know that there's anybody else.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-670-5151. That's 1-800-670-5151. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-670-5151. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
At Right Way, our team wouldn't last 5 minutes against the Wildcats. But when it comes to great service and your home comfort, well, that's a slam dunk. Whether it's heating and cooling, water heaters, or a block drain, give us a call today and let us win the game for you. Or visit www.rightwayac.com. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is proud to be an official sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. Give us a call. Let us know your feelings on Arizona baseball. Let us know your feelings on anything else. Obviously, there was some big news in college sports yesterday. We'll dive into that and what it all means, or at least we'll try to attempt to begin to figure out what it all means. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea.
Yeah, good luck.
What it means, but we can discuss it, and we'll do that here momentarily. But we do want to let you hear from Jim Anderson, the head golf coach at the University of Arizona. The NCAA Division I Men's Championships stroke play started today, and the top 8 teams will advance to the quarterfinals. 4 rounds today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So maybe, Monday is the 27th, correct? Am I correct on that? Yes.
Correct.
So that means that those 4 days will be the stroke play part of this, and then the top 8 teams will advance to the match play quarterfinals to try to determine the national champion in college men's golf. And right now, your Arizona Wildcats, they just moved up a spot. Last time I looked, they were 3rd. Right now, the Wildcats are tied for 2nd at +1. Now, it's very early out on the course. The Wildcats are still playing the front 9 today, but they are in 2nd place, tied with Illinois and Texas and North Carolina at the moment. All 4 of those teams are +1. Tennessee currently is your leader at -2.
Yeah, there's some high numbers. I mean, if listeners don't remember, weren't listening last week, La Costa Omni, right, is a brand new, it's north. The north course is refurbished. So none of these golfers have really had a chance to go out there. So, DK, much like seeing a new pitcher the first time through a lineup, I think these numbers we're seeing right now are pretty high. And Purdue's in at +22 on the day in the bottom, and a lot of the other teams are also shooting pretty high numbers. So it might just be the case where first time through, kind of get a feel. We heard that the greens might be a little sloped out there.
Well, and it's interesting because we talked about that when we heard from the players earlier this week. I mean, look at, like you mentioned, Purdue is in last place at +22. They finished. There's about 10 teams that have finished their rounds. Vanderbilt was the team that ran away from the field at Purdue, which was the regional where Arizona was last week. So your top 2 teams at that regional are combined 30 over par.
Yeah. And the only
to start this event.
The highest scoring team that is actually in the clubhouse right now is Ohio State at +6.
Yeah. So there you go. +6 is your high score in the clubhouse. I think that means the back 9 might be very difficult. So let's sit on that +1 that they got for now, because it could be going down as this event moves along.
Yeah, they're working on the holes 5 through 8 at the moment.
But let's hear from the head coach of the Arizona men's golf team, Jim Anderson, who talked about his team qualifying into this event and having this opportunity to play for a national championship.
I think, experience is a big part of it. We have 2 sophomores in our lineup. They got to play regionals last year and got to experience that. And Tiger, now a junior, is an upperclassman. That's definitely some experience that's been paying off. Those 3 with Philip and Zach as sophomores and Tiger as a junior this year have individual wins, and they're hungry and they want to be a part of this. So, and then you have a guy like Sam Summerhauser, who's been an anchor for us the whole time. Golf's a crazy game. It's filled with ups and downs, and he's oftentimes found himself in our top 5 and had some great finishes, including last week at regionals. So he's got some great experiences played in the championship, and when you complement that with some hungry younger players around, that's really been the fuel for our team this year.
So Sam did regionals but did not do the conference?
Correct.
What goes into deciding like those 5, or I guess that one was 6, and changing it up from event to event?
Yeah, and we talked about this as a team at the beginning, and it's a good problem for a coach to have, but it's also kind of a tough problem, because you want to recruit and have as much talent as you possibly can, and competition makes us all better. At least that's my philosophy. And so we talked about it, and guys on our team have spent different. They've no person on our team is bigger than any other person on our team. And, and certainly when a guy's on a roll, he becomes like our horse, our leader, or the person we rely on. But the reality is the line of, 5 versus 6, it changes all the time. And Sam on that particular week was just on the outside of that line, and he handled it like a champ. He's a true team player and was hungry and ready for his next opportunity, which just so happened to be the next week at regionals. And sure enough, he's positioned to lead the team, and now he's feeling really good about our chances going to the national championship.
Talking about the makeup, obviously, of your lineup, Tony's another guy who we saw a lot early, but maybe now towards the end has not been able to play his way into that 5. What's he maybe not doing that he needs to continue to try to get better at to be consistently in that 5 for you?
Yeah, Tony's been not a surprise, but he's been an awesome addition to our team, because he's just a very awesome personality. The guys have really taken a liking to him, the person, and he's got incredible talent. So he's a guy who's picked up a lot of experience this year, and we've told him every step of the way, be ready, because your name's 1 round away from being called. It's not much different than being a backup in football or certain other sports where it could be injury, it could be performance. Either way, you're going to be on the tee next day potentially. So I'm totally confident with Tony's abilities, and I know that when he does get his next opportunity, he's going to be ready to help us, and I'm excited about that, because we count on him, and he's carried us in several tournaments this year too.
So what have the team done to get ready?
Well, I think for us right now, the guys have all finished up their school. We went to regionals with that being behind us, which was great. It's nice to have that stress, something that you can kind of put behind you and not have to worry about anymore. The guys are incredibly hardworking team. So I'm, as a coach, not scheduling a ton of practice that they have to attend. We get out here in the morning, and oftentimes they're beating us here, especially when they don't have class. And, at the end of the day, 5, 6 in the afternoon, there's 3 or 4 guys still here. So we've played a few courses here in town to try to prep and try to simulate a little bit of what we might be able to expect. Tucson Country Club's a great setup for that. Got fast greens here, difficult chipping around the greens. Those are things we think we're going to see at La Costa. And we've done some great team activities too. We went bowling. We've just found a new love for a couple of board games, Taboo and Code Names, I think, is the other one that was introduced. So we're trying to stay competitive, doing things that we don't normally do, I guess you could say, and keep our mood light, loose. We're going to have some fun. And, we're definitely there to play our best golf, but we also know it's an honor, and it's earned to get a chance to play in this tournament. So we're going to try to have some fun doing it too.
What have you learned about the course, the new course?
Well, Gil Hans did the renovation, and before it was a little bit shorter, so they've added some length in certain spots on the tees. I think for the most part, it's a course like Championship Golf where you're going to want to try to keep the ball below the hole. I don't know if the course, because it literally just opened within the last month, I don't know if it's going to have this full growth feeling to it. So perhaps, there's going to be some penalty areas around the course, of course, but there might not be some heavy rough. There might not be some of the same challenges you're going to see 2, 3, 4 years from now on that golf course. So I don't think it means the scoring is going to be better, but I do think, the team that keeps the ball in the right spots below the hole and they're, chipping from the right spot, putting from below the hole, that's going to be one of the keys to success, because oftentimes new courses play firmer and faster. And so that means it's shorter, but you've really got to know where your ball's stopping.
There's normally like a gap where you're not allowed to play a course for a championship, right?
Correct.
How far is that normally back?
Well, normally 1 year in advance.
Oh, okay.
But this particular tournament's already been set up to be the next 3 years. Sure. So no team has, plus it helps that it wasn't even open, so there wasn't even a chance that somebody could sneak out there. Mm-hmm. But there's been no access to the course, and as the rule is currently written, teams won't be allowed to play it in the future either, except for the championship. So it's a truly neutral site.
So you almost are, like, by being part of the first group that's playing it, or the first ones, that may give you a leg up on just next year other teams that play it for the first time.
Certainly. Yeah, certainly helpful. And I think one thing that we've done a pretty good job of, I don't have the notes or the stats to back this up, but we've done well going to tournaments that nobody's played on that golf course. So we've gotten invited to some great tournaments. This is dating back a couple of years now too. It's not just this year, but when we show up at a course that no one's played, a lot of times we've done well. I hope that's a sign of what's going to happen this week. I can't promise anything, but I do believe that our game plan and the work that the coaching staff and the players do, because they're committed to this too, is going to pay off in the way of our preparation.
What's the key to that? To being able to play something that you've never seen? Is it just the adaptability from hole to hole, like that each of the golfers recognizing things just right off the bat?
Yeah, that's part of it, and just golf IQ is part of it. But you can do a certain number of things ahead of time with aerials and figuring out how much space you have where your driver might fly. So getting a game plan ready for the practice round helps you be confident and be committed to certain lines and certain distances from tees that can help expedite your learning curve of how to get ready for a golf course.
The guys were saying that they watched some of the women's first round there yesterday. What can they get out of watching others play it on television?
The first thing I think we were watching it together too. So we had a nice dinner at Coach Walton's house and played some more games. So it was on and we were tuned in. The first thing you notice are the firmness of the greens. And, the women's game is very similar to the men's game in a lot of areas. But, sometimes the ball flights are a little bit different. So you can't say that it's for sure going to be firm. But, I've even been trying to pay attention to the scoring, and it looked like the women came out through the week and the scoring got more and more difficult. So I'm not going to tell our team this because I don't know what hard or easy is, and we don't know what good is when we tee it up on Friday. But, I do think that the course and the setup, based on how you usually see championships, it's going to be one where it will get more and more difficult as the week goes on. So we're going to need to be tough and ready and adapt, and we got a team to do it.
Who's your hottest golfer right now?
That's a good question. I think it's probably. That's a really good question. I don't like to pick one of my favorite sons. Zach's been really consistent. Like, Zach has been a little bit of he's not been an unsung hero, but he's really logged a bunch of really quality tournaments, including rounds. Didn't get off to the best start at regionals, but didn't panic, didn't do anything different, just got to the green and practiced a little after the round, got a little rhythm after round one, and it just kind of chipped away at it. If I'm shouting out one person right now, it's Zach, but, I couldn't be more proud of the way Sam played last week, and I'm remiss if I don't mention Philip, Tiger, Johnny, and Tony. So, like those 5, 6 guys traveling this week, we're going to have a good time, and I have confidence that a couple of them are going to step up, and the ones that aren't, air quotes here, on stage they're still a huge part of what's going on with our team's success, and their role is very important, whoever that is.
Obviously, you have your team qualifiers, but then Sam got to play in that U.S. Open qualifier ahead of regionals. What does being in a competition like that do for a player?
I love getting our guys to do that, and I don't know off the top of my head. I think we had 7 out of 9 play, and you can assign confidence and build, your I guess build your confidence from that performance, but it also doesn't have to mean anything. Sam shoots 3 under, feels like he plays pretty good, barely misses a playoff. That's great. Tiger didn't play so great, but he shows up at regionals and plays good. So tournament reps are invaluable, and that's why we play all year. We get reps, we see how guys perform under pressure, perform with different conditions, and that's no different. And when we get to the U.S. Open qualifier here in Tucson, right before we get on a plane to go to a regional, I think it's great for those guys who are prepping for the regional.
Tiger said he and Philip have played in European tournaments on this level. Is there a similarity to those types of tournaments that they played over there to the NCAA championship?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the European Boys Championship, and it's very much as riveting and as fun to watch as it is the NCAA Golf Championships. And the format's a little different, so you can't draw the exact same parallels, but it's definitely a team game. And when you get to experience at that level, and the experience that our European players, for example, who have got to do that, it's definitely pays off. And other tournaments we scheduled this year, the Copper Cup, we played 8 guys deep against Arizona State, USC, and UCLA, and we came out on top that week in January. But those types of experiences are the kinds of things that we're going to rely on when it comes time to flip the switch and go into match play here later in the week.
Yeah, not to get maybe too far ahead into match play, but does your lineup potentially change if you feel like maybe one of your guys that's not in that 5 and stroke play is a better fit for you in match play? And have you done that before in the past, potentially?
Definitely all guys traveling are going to be options for us, and that's certainly something we think about. I mean, it helps when you get to see 4 rounds of stroke play in advance to see how, player A is playing the course versus player E, for example, and maybe it's time for F to come in for C, who knows. But either way, I'm confident that whichever players we're going to have rolling out there, they're going to give us a great chance to perform.
So your 6th will play as an individual?
No, sorry. So you only play 5. Every single day you play 5, and Tony's going to start out as our substitute. If something happens with injury or just coach's decision, we could put Tony in for any one of the rounds following. We would just have to take one of those players out.
All right, that is the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, Jim Anderson. They will let you know after the top of the hour how the Wildcats are doing individually, but right now they are tied for 2nd overall at the first round of the NCAA championships. It's DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. We've got much more coming up for you in the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to talk some Arizona baseball with Roxy Bernstein as the Cats get ready for the semifinals tonight against the Stanford Cardinal. J-Dub is here. Cricket is here as well. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Alvernon and 29th Street and Alvernon Way for a collision. Crash Valencia east of I-19 at Valencia and Santa Clara. And we've got traffic signals malfunctioning. FEMA in Rosemont, also at Congress and 6th Avenue and Congress. Some slowing on 6th Avenue at Congress. 65 the low, 90 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday, and 99 on Memorial Day, and 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
You want to protect her. You'll give anything to make sure nothing harms her. Every minute together makes unforgettable memories. Except that time you parked her under that tree and
Oh, come on, man. Really?
Sorry, we'll never speak of it again. But remember who came to her rescue? Recon Auto Detailing. Arizona's premier auto detailing company comes directly to you. We'll make your masterpiece shine like it should, and with a monthly maintenance package, we'll keep it that way. Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
It's no contest, Tucson. You're listening to the home of the Arizona Wildcats. That's why 1290 runs this town. This is the one and only home of your Arizona Wildcats.
And you know this, man!
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
We return now to Eugene Snarkle, UberTube video star, and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, what happened to just buying a new set of tires at Jack Furrier's?
Way too easy, Doug.
Yes, Eugene. Jack Furrier's makes buying tires easy. So what's up with all the rubber cement and electrical tape? And why are you putting it all over your tires?
It's basic science, Doug. This Uber hack should give me another 6 months on these old treads and make me locally world famous on UberTubes.
So you'll be risking your life. And your reputation.
Yes, Doug. It's all for my UberTube fans.
Well, could you at least wait a week before you try driving up Mount Lemon?
At Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, we make buying tires easy. Our local warehouse is filled with thousands of great options, all at one low price. If you need tires for your passenger car, truck, SUV, van, 4x4, RV, boat, or UTV, call us or go online to jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Desperate buyers have created tremendous opportunity for sellers. If you've had the slightest thought of selling your home, it's time to call Sean Poston with the Poston Results Team at Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. Why choose the Poston Results Team? Past performance, more money in your pocket, over a 65% referral rate, an incredible Poston Results Team staff, and most important, communication, because you and your home matter. The Poston Results Team. When buying and selling really matter, go to TucsonHomeValues.com. That's TucsonHomeValues with an S.com.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Mount Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Nobody up in the Arizona bullpen. Looks like some guys are going to start stretching out there. The 0-1 to the plate. That's driven down the right field line. That's a fair ball. It's going to go all the way to the wall. In to score will come Advin Hula. Loma Vida is headed around third. He will score, and the Bears are up now 5-1. A 2-run double for Rodney Green Jr.
It was a rough night for Jackson Kent, Arizona starter last night against the California Golden Bears. Jackson Kent now has struggled for 4 straight starts. Is that something to be concerned about as the Arizona Wildcats head into the NCAA tournament? He is your number 1 starter, but the last 4 times out, he is 0-3 with a 10.13 earned run average And Jackson has allowed just 7 home runs on the season, but 5 of those have come in his last 3 starts. So things at the moment are not clicking for Jackson Kent at the top of the Arizona Wildcats rotation. Kent went 9 starts between March 1st and May 10th without allowing a home run. But he has now allowed 5 in his last 3 starts. The Wildcats have lost the last 3 games at which he has started. You go back to last night, Friday night against Oregon State, Thursday night against Oregon State, Friday morning against the Utah Utes. So Jackson Kent, you're going to need him to find it. You're going to need the Jackson Kent that the Wildcats had during their 11-game run in the Pac-12 Conference and their 11-game run overall. You're going to need that Jackson Kent back when you get to the postseason if the Arizona Wildcats want to be able to make a deep run into this forthcoming tournament.
He's also, eating up the most innings of any of the starters, right? So, this time of year, DK, having that solid guy, those guys who can go deep into the game is a huge boost if you don't have a dominating bullpen coming in to relieve him.
Peyton Schultz hit 2 home runs yesterday for the Cal Bears. However, the USC Trojans have flipped the script in Scottsdale. It was 2-0 in favor of Cal. It is now 3-2 in favor of Southern California in the bottom half of the 6th inning, as the Trojans try to make a run now to the Pac-12 Tournament Championship game on Saturday night. Second game coming up, 7 o'clock, 7:05 first pitch, Arizona and Stanford. You will hear that game right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Also, the ladies, Arizona softball, a little less than an hour away from their super regional beginning out in Stillwater, Oklahoma. It'll be Arizona and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State has been a dominant team at home in the postseason. Their last 19 games in which they played at home in the postseason, they have won 18 of them. So it is not going to be an easy thing to navigate for Arizona to try to get out of there with 2 wins and get back to the College World Series, but they will try to do so. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We've been talking, you heard before the top of the hour, Jim Anderson, the head golf coach at the University of Arizona. The Wildcats playing the first round out at La Costa North, Omni La Costa, the North Course in Carlsbad. Right now, the Wildcats still on the front 9, finishing up. They have gone from +1 to +2. So the Wildcats have dropped a stroke, but still tied for 4th with now Georgia Tech and Texas. Tennessee at -1, playing the back 9. Illinois at +1 on the front 9. North Carolina at +1 on the back 9. And then Georgia Tech, Arizona, and Texas. 3 teams are tied for 7th right now. Virginia and Florida State, Auburn, all +3. East Tennessee State, despite their bags getting thrown around, they are tied for 10th and in the mix. East Tennessee State is +4 and leading teams. In fact, they are one of just a few non-Power 5 teams in this event this week. You got East Tennessee State is a non-Power 5. New Mexico, we've talked a lot about them. They're right now +11, tied for 21st. And North Florida. So just 3 teams, 3 non-Power 5 teams are at the NCAA Men's Golf Championships right now.
They probably just got some new putters.
Well, Delta said they were going to hook them up, so who knows? If Delta tells me they're going to hook me up, I might have come up with some stuff.
Right.
I need a new driver and a new putter.
My priceless crown of rubies and emeralds and diamonds somehow was damaged in the transit over here. I got a question. It's these coastal courses. I mean, I know that area pretty well. My uncle was out there in Encinitas for a while. I wonder how different the mornings and the afternoons are. You got such a big group of golfers. I mean, we're seeing such high numbers, but it seems like some of these teams who are starting off later in the day are shooting a little bit lower. Obviously, we won't know until they get to the back nine and everything evens out. But
I would think it's. I mean, if it's like I never spent a lot of time in Central California. So I don't know if it's very much like Southern California where you get that, cloudy marine layer in the morning.
Yeah.
And it can sometimes be a little windy and then it burns off and it becomes just more clear and calm.
I mean, when I lived in Emeryville, there was fog every morning, but I don't think I ever saw fog in Encinitas, to be honest. So, yeah, maybe so.
In terms of the individual side right now, Arizona's top individual golfer at the moment is Filip Jakubik. He is even. In fact, he and Sam Sommerhauser are both even par and tied for 15th. The leader right now is at -4, and that is Adam Wallen from Ohio State.
And he's done, too.
Yeah, he's off the course. Jakubik and Sommerhauser, and then Zach Polo is +1, tied for 33rd. Tiger Christensen is +1, tied for 33rd. Johnny Walker is the other of the 5 playing today. He is +2 and tied for 57th. So not bad. I mean, all of your golfers are right around +2, no lower than +2 right now for the Arizona Wildcats. Let's see if that holds up as they hit the turn and get to the back 9 in Carlsbad. We'll keep you updated on that as we go along here today as well. Last night, how about your Phoenix Mercury? They did it again. 3 wins in a row.
Tosh Cloud giving it up to Copper, KFC. The hoop and the harm. Copper triple is wet. She's got 8. Far every button that new head coach Nate Tibbetts has hit has been the right one. Creates the turnover. Way to stay with it defensively. Copper triple. Oh, somebody is in her bag. Kiki Herbert Harrican, welcome to the Mercury. That's her first basket, and it's a 3.
Well, we saw in preseason she was knocking those shots down.
Mercury 5 of 13 from 3. Mac at the cup. I like it. Mac attack.
You think at some point that Phoenix is going to get hot.
Cunningham. She heard you, Annie. Taurasi. Are you kidding me? That is a shooter's roll. To a cutting Taurasi. Meets Dolson at the basket. And it's a 3-point play opportunity. 6.4 seconds before the end of the third. Copper eyeing the clock, gets it up, and in! KFC with the fist pump. She's got 20 points. Cloud off the bounce, stepping through. What a finish. We see you, Tosh. Sophie Cunningham burns the clock. And that will do it as Phoenix wins by a final count of 83-80. Make it 3 straight wins for Phoenix.
83-80. How about that for the Phoenix Mercury? They are now 3-1 on this season. And after the game, Diana Taurasi, loving what she's seeing from her club.
Diana Taurasi joins us now. 10 points in the first half, 10 points in the second half. Very steady. DT, what did you like most about this win from your team today?
Sometimes you think it's always going to be pretty and it's going to go your way. And you forget the other team practices, the other team has a scout, and I thought Washington did a great job of getting to what they wanted to get to, both offensively and defensively. But Coach said at halftime, this is like a win we need to get. And we just pulled together. Everyone did a little bit, and that's what we're kind of about this year.
Diana, talk a little bit about the defense. I mean, you held them to under 39%, and so much has been talked about the offense, and you knocked down some key shots and got to the basket. But talk about the defense that you guys are playing.
Well, I mean, it's really a collective effort. We know that. And it obviously starts with Tosh, the energy that she brings to the game, the life she gives us on both ends. And then, credit to Coach Tibbetts and the coaching staff. They're honest. There's certain things they want us to get done, and if, you don't play. So, kudos to them.
We know you're top 5 all-time in assists on the career leaderboard in the WNBA, but Tosh has come through with back-to-back points, assists, double-doubles, and she found you a couple times late in that fourth quarter when things got snug. What is it about Cloud leading this team that is different from any season that you've had here?
She is a testament to numbers are not what the game is about. It's about winning. And I don't need to see a box score. Natasha's a winner. She's brought that grit. She's given me life. She's given this team life. Her and Ka have just been amazing. And Beck, just a really fun group to be around.
And even the bench. The bench has really come through for you guys, haven't they?
Coach said be ready. I don't know when you're going in, but you're going in. And I thought today we got great minutes from Kiki and Morgan. Obviously, I think Sophie, if she's not 6th Woman of the Year, I don't know who is.
Oh, I like that. Let's put that out into the atmosphere. Diana Taurasi, thanks so much for the time. Enjoy the 3rd straight win. We'll see you Saturday night.
Take care.
20 points for Diana Taurasi, 20 points for Kahleah Copper. You heard Cindy Brunson, who was on the call there for the Arizona Family network of stations, of which, of course, I'm not in the family. I talk about that all the time because I can't watch the games. But you heard her refer to Kahleah Copper as KFC. Do you know what the F stands for, J-Dub?
I do not.
No. I don't think it's actually her middle name. It's Kahleah frickin' Copper.
Gotcha. That's with the quotations there in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah. Kahleah frickin' Copper. Didn't have 37. But she had 27 of 17, 3 of 9 from 3. And you heard Diana Taurasi mention Natasha Cloud. There's 2 Natashas on this team. There's Natasha Mack, but Natasha Cloud, 14 points, 10 assists, 8 of 10 from the free throw line in this ball game. She actually was a longtime Washington Mystic. They cut her in the offseason. She signed with the Phoenix Mercury and did some big-time damage to her former team. We'll hear from Natasha Cloud coming up a little bit later. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We're going to be joined by Roxy Bernstein talking some Arizona baseball next. Before that, though, cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Traffic signals malfunctioning at Congress and 6th Avenue and Congress, and also at Pima and Rosemont. Collisions that are clearing at Alvernon and 29th Street in Alvernon, and also Valencia. East of I-19 at Santa Clara, some pretty heavy westbound backups. Westbound on Valencia approaching I-19. 65 the low, 90 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday, and 99 on Memorial Day. 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Every business faces challenges, but shipping shouldn't be one of them. Turn shipping to your advantage with USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
So I wore my fancy new Christmas boots that my wife got me.
Ow, it don't hurt.
Got a cramp. See?
Gotta stretch before you do that.
Oh, my hip.
Stop trying to do crazy gymnastics in the studio.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
We return now to Eugene Snarkle, UberTube video star, and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, what happened to just buying a new set of tires at Jack Furrier's?
Way too easy, Doug.
Yes, Eugene. Jack Furrier's makes buying tires easy. So what's up with all the rubber cement and electrical tape? And why are you putting it all over your tires?
It's basic science, Doug. This Uber hack should give me another 6 months on these old treads and make me locally world famous on UberTubes.
So you'll be risking your life and your reputation.
Yes, Doug. It's all for my UberTube fans.
Well, could you at least wait a week before you try driving up Mount Lemon?
At Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, we make buying tires easy. Our local warehouse is filled with thousands of great options, all at one low price. If you need tires for your passenger car, truck, SUV, van, 4x4, RV, boat, or UTV, call us or go online to jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
At Standard Restaurant Supply, their vision and number one goal is to improve the lives of their customers and clients by providing a better culinary experience. Standard Restaurant Supply, if it's in a restaurant and not food, they have it. Open to the public, no membership fees, and they offer bulk store pricing without the bulk store purchase. Open Monday through Saturday at 601 South Cherry Avenue or call 885-2345. Standard Restaurant Supply is a proud sponsor of the U of A Radio Sports broadcast.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Hey guys, what are you... Gotta take this. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Thank you for... Uh-huh. Right. You don't say. Uh-huh. Now.
Hold it. What's with all the nows?
People want to know the best time for an elastification.
And you're telling them...
Hello? Now.
Well, there's no bad time for elastification, but the best time is now.
Pretty soon, Arizona temps are going to put a strain on your AC.
Now is really the best time.
You're not telling people about all the money they save?
Now.
Or how Alaskan AC will make their AC last longer?
Now.
Or the big 1-year guarantee that their AC will not break down?
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Well, Ron wants to tell you a bunch of stuff. I know. That's kind of what I told him. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, now.
The best time for elastification is...
now.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com. Now.
Paid for by National Tax Advisory Services. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-804-4894 and get the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-804-4894 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-804-4894. 800-804-4894. 800-804-4894.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. Wildcats fans can listen to us everywhere on our all-new app.
Now available from the Google Play Store and the App Store for iPhone users.
The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. It's time for your Arizona Insiders.
Oh, sweet.
Each weekday, Wildcats Radio 1290 brings you all the latest news and opinions on U of A athletics. So bear down, Tucson, and let's talk Wildcats. Our Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Coors Light, official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
Arizona baseball tonight in the Pac-12 semifinals against the Stanford Cardinal. They'll play the other half of the Bay Area after losing to the California Golden Bears last night by a score of 7-5. One of the gentlemen that called the game on TV joins us now. He has joined us before. His name is Roxy Bernstein. And Roxy, how's life up in Scottsdale at the final Pac-12 conference tournament?
It's certainly interesting, David, because as you alluded to, this is the final event essentially for the Pac-12 as we know it. And so we're crowning a champion tomorrow, and tonight's going to be interesting and probably emotional because when I sign off for the Arizona-Stanford game coming up in a bit, that is the last live event ever produced by the Pac-12 network. So wow. It's going to be emotional. There is a game, and that's paramount. The game is the most important thing tonight. But in the big grand scheme of things, it's certainly an eventful night for a lot of us.
So I'll ask you then, Roxy, are there plans within the production to kind of celebrate all of what has been the Pac-12 and the Pac-12 network over the course of the last 12 years?
Yeah, there is. We have a plan going into tonight, and because I'm calling the game tomorrow night, the championship on ESPNU. And we also have a plan how to handle that tomorrow night as well. So this is, yes, the game is paramount. The tournament champion certainly is front and center. But in the big picture, there's a lot of other things going on as well. And you can't ignore it. And, over 9,000 events have been produced by the Pac-12 network over the 12-year history of the network. And tonight, it's the last one.
So what do you make of your, I'll let folks know Roxy Bernstein is a graduate. He is a Pac-12 graduate, just like I am. I'm a Pac-12 graduate of the University of Southern California. Roxy is a Pac-12 graduate of the University of California. Of course, it was the Pac-10 back when we were young and in school, or it might have been even the six-pack back when we were young and in school. I don't even know if USC and Cal played back in the days when we were in school. But what do you make of your team and how hot they've become? I mean, one of the hottest teams in the country right now.
It is a great story, the way they're playing. As closing in down the stretch, and the season kind of turned when they swept Oregon State. They get off to a great start. There's a lot of talent, David, on the Cal team, and they have some pitching issues, and they hit a bump in the road when Arizona swept them with 3 close games in Berkeley. And it's funny, I was talking to Chip Hale about it a couple of weeks ago, and Chip and his staff, they were talking about leaving Evans Diamond after the sweep, and Chip says to one of his assistants, goes, "How the heck did we sweep that series?" Because, but Arizona's really good too, as we know. But something clicked with this Cal team here down the stretch, and they surprised a lot of people by winning Pool A, getting to the semis, and I think they put themselves in a position where they should be in the NCAA tournament, regardless of how this weekend plays out.
We're chatting with Roxy Bernstein, Pac-12 Network announcer. He'll be on the call tonight, Arizona and Stanford. I want to go back, though, to last night's game, Roxy. Jackson Kent. He struggled now in 4 straight games, ERA 10.13 in his last 4 starts. And maybe the most concerning is this was a guy that did not give up a lot of home runs early in the season, and he's now given up 5 in his last 3 games. When your number one starter is struggling at the most important time of the season, how do you look at that if you're Chip Hale and his coaching staff?
I think it's concerning, David, about that spot in the rotation right now, in which you alluded to the last 4 starts. And look, he's faced some good teams. Pitching in Salt Lake City is not easy, as we know, but also facing Oregon State, and Cal's a red-hot team. So I think that has to be factored in also. But when they're looking at next week, because we know Arizona's going to be in the NCAA tournament, regardless if they win this thing or not. And for me, if they win the tournament here in Scottsdale, they should be a regional host. If you win the Pac-12 regular season and tournament championship, that should be expected and assumed. I don't know how it's going to play out, but you never know what the committee is thinking. But as you move forward into next week, for me, look, Chip Hale knows his team better than I do, and Kevin Vance, the pitching coach, and they're going to have to tweak some things. But for me, I would start Clark Candiotti and make him my number one next week, and maybe push Jackson Kent to the number 3 spot in the rotation behind Cam Walty. Let's face it. Yeah, Kent is the number 1. He's gone on Friday nights. But it's really 1A, 1B, and 1C when you look at the Arizona rotation.
I'm glad you said that, so I did not have to, because that's what I've been thinking the course of the last few weeks. I'm like, I don't know. Clark Candiotti kind of seems to be the guy that I think I might want at the top of my rotation right now, because you definitely don't want to put yourself down in that elimination hole right off the bat with a guy in your number 1 starter position that might be struggling. Clark Candy obviously will get the ball tonight. You've been around the big league game for a long time. I'm sure you probably saw his dad pitch maybe in the big leagues. What do you like about Clark Candiotti and what he brings as a pitcher?
I love the way he competes. And he's out there. First off, David, as we know, he's got great stuff, right? He's running the fastball up there in the mid-90s. But the command that he has and the work ethic is the thing that really impresses me about him. And seeing how hard he works, talking to Chip Hale and Kevin Vance about him, but also talking to Dad. I've known Candy for a while. And first off, Tom is one of the nicest people you're going to meet. Mm-hmm. But the thing I really admire about a lot of kids don't want to hear it from dad, even though dad was in the big leagues for 16 years, and they don't want necessarily the constructive criticism. Clark has made a point to tell dad, look, I want to know what you see. The only way I want to get better, and I want to see through your eyes. And they have, at times, heated conversations because Tom coaches him hard, and that's what Clark wants. And I think it's a great relationship the two of them have. Tom goes back and breaks down every start, and they go through it. And there's usually things Tom says that they go over after every outing. So the relationship those two have is great. You have the son of a former major leaguer who's got talent, and it's great to see him flourish after. Look, he's had a career where I don't want to say he's been a nomad, but he's been at 5 schools, right? Started at St. Mary's, went to a couple of junior colleges, had a solid year at Wichita State last year, but has really turned into a fine pitcher this year with the Cats.
We're joined by none other than Roxy Bernstein, Pac-12 Network announcer, Wildcats, and the Stanford Cardinal. What does Stanford present? What issues do they present for Arizona in this one-off affair here tonight?
They're talented, but they're inexperienced. Look, they're feeling good about themselves right now after winning their pool, and it's unexpected being the 8th seed, and they came into the Pac-12 tournament. Stanford lost 10 in a row prior to the win against Arizona State on Tuesday to start the tournament. They have talent, but it's a completely new team for David Esco, a program that's used to winning. They've been to Omaha each of the last 3 years. And they're going to play with that sense of urgency because they know if they lose tonight, the season's over. So Stanford's going to play with that desperation, but Arizona's the better baseball team, as we know. Plus, they have Candiotti going against Matt Scott, who leads the Pac-12 in strikeouts, talented pitcher. But Arizona should feel pretty confident about their chances tonight against Stanford, even though the Stanford Cardinal have won their pool and they're 2-0 so far here in this tournament.
Yeah, and I guess the thing for Stanford is don't hit the ball into left center field or down the left field line because Brendan Summerhill and Brandon Rogers are going to go run down everything.
Boy, those catches Brandon Rogers made in left field last night were just sensational. I mean, the diving catch that he had moving over toward the line, you can see all the tools and why Arizona's so excited about his future and what he's capable of doing. But the way he can play left field, it's funny. Look, this is high praise, but it's reminiscent for me of a young Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Just the way he runs out there with his athleticism, that he is a special talent. And look, he strikes out too much right now, but he can figure out the plate. That's the big thing for him is the consistency with his swing, reading pitches. If he can figure that out, he's got potential to one day to be a major player.
It's funny you mentioned Bo Jackson in that respect. I don't know if you saw the weight room videos from the fall, but he was a weight room beast. I mean, the team was putting out videos of him doing squats and lifting, just throwing iron around the workout facility at McHale Center. I mean, Brandon Rogers is a strong guy built out of that Bo Jackson type strong ball player that we remember so much in the 1980s. Did you see any of those videos?
I did not see them. But now I have to go search in YouTube to find him.
Oh yeah,
I got to see these now.
Yeah,
I mean that
he can move some metal. Let's just put it that way. When you look at this team right now in terms of Arizona, Mason White, who's probably hit 2 of the longest home runs that we've seen at that stadium, man. You'd like to see him get hot right now.
And he seems he's trending in that direction with the 2 balls he's absolutely destroyed in this tournament so far. But he's just really scratching the surface, to be honest with you. I thought he had a really good year last year. Has made the adjustment to shortstop. I'm not sure if his future, David, is at shortstop when he gets to the next level because he will play professionally and then, hopefully moves up through the minors and gets a chance in the big leagues. But he's not the biggest guy, as we know. But, boy, he gets his bat through the zone. He drives the ball, he gets power, and he gets the most out of what he's got. And he has the ability to take over games. And when you're pitching to Arizona and you look at that lineup, he's the guy you circled if you're the opposition. We can't let this guy beat us. And you got to hope he doesn't come up in a spot where he can really do damage.
All right, how many teams get in from the Pac-12 to the tournament?
Well, I think as of right now, 4 are in. And I'm optimistic with my Cal Bears being the 4th team. If somehow Stanford wins this, then the Pac-12 could get 5. But realistically, I think 4. I think Oregon State will be a host. They probably play their way out of being a top 8 national seed. For me, Arizona, if they win this tournament, that they should be a host as well. Oregon is firmly in the field. And I think my Cal's win over Arizona last night, that puts them in as well. So I think the conference will get 4.
Roxy Bernstein joining us, Pac-12 Network. Roxy, give me your fondest Pac-12 baseball moment, whether it came as a student or whether it came as an announcer as an adult. What's that one Pac-12 moment you remember the most?
Just on a personal level, David, the run Cal went on in 2011 to get to Omaha in the College World Series, that's the one for me, because that was the year they were going to cancel the program.
Yeah.
They were going to drop it, and it was going to be eliminated, and it was saved during the course of that season. And the improbable run that Cal made to be able to go to the College World Series that year and in dramatic fashion win the regional in Houston like they did. And then I saw the Cal fan base show up when they hosted a super regional against Dallas Baptist, and I've never seen that for Cal baseball before. So that is the number one memory for me. And then another one is really what Stanford has done recently, just because I've called their regionals and the way they have gotten to Omaha the last few years and coming back to the loser's bracket in dramatic fashion 2 years ago when they beat Texas State, when they hit back-to-back homers in the bottom of the ninth to tie it, and Trevor Haskins, who is Stanford's starting shortstop now, with a freshman, he had like 7 at-bats all season. And he came up with a regional winning hit. And it was the best atmosphere, David, at Stanford I have seen outside of a football game, maybe outside of a women's basketball game too, because it's funny. The crowd, it was sold out to begin with, and it just seemed the crowd as the night kept going on, kept getting bigger and bigger, and people found their way in a sunk a diamond. And when they won it against Texas State, it was just incredible to see.
And lastly, Roxy, before we let you go, what's your biggest surprise of the first 2 months of the Major League season?
Biggest surprise? I think that the way the Houston Astros have started this season, I think that it's been a disappointment. They're playing better recently, and I was around them a couple times already this year. But I think that I think they're a disappointment, to be honest with you. So much talent on that squad, and they just haven't figured it out. But the good news for them is that the Rangers, who everybody thought was the favorite in that division, haven't run away with it. Seattle's the team to catch right now, but Houston is playing much better baseball. And look, we thought the Phillies were going to be good. I don't think we thought Philadelphia would be this good.
Yeah. Well, Roxy, we look forward to talking to you this summer so we can figure out for all of us what's next and what's happening and how the world is going to transpire with everything that's going on, with a move to the Big 12 for our school, a move to the ACC for your school, the breakup of the Pac-12, and what took place yesterday with the NCAA and the Power Fives. It's going to be a very interesting life moving forward in college athletics.
Yeah, if anybody has a clue how this is going to continue moving forward, please let me know. I'd like to know.
I said that earlier in the show. I said we can talk about this, but I have no idea what's going to happen.
No, we have no clue.
No.
And just when you think you figured it out, it goes to show you know absolutely nothing.
Absolutely. Roxy, have a great call tonight with our guy, Wes Clements.
You got it. Anytime, David. Thanks for having me.
Roxy Bernstein, Pac-12 Network. He'll be on the television call tonight, Arizona and Stanford.
Thanks to Coors Light for bringing you today's Arizona Insiders on Wildcats Radio 1290. Coors Light, official corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather as we start this Memorial Day weekend.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together, sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Traffic signals reportedly malfunctioning Congress and 6th Avenue and also at Pima and Rosemont. Collisions that are reported Grant Road and Silver Bell, Alvernon and 29th Street, Valencia east of I-19, some slowing westbound Valencia approaching I-19. And weather-wise, 65 the low, 90 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday, and 99 on Memorial Day. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your go-to destination for nonstop entertainment. Play for fun and play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void or prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
There's too much to tell you about all the great deals on the EV Blazer in 15 seconds. So you're going to have to learn more at O'Reilly.com. Or come see us today.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Yeah, Goodfellas AC.
Hi, can I get a second opinion from you guys on something?
Of course. It's what we're here for.
So, my wife's brother claimed he'd done some AC repair before.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and now there's kind of a rope and pulley situation that opens the freezer door and a fan inside turns on to cool off the house.
Huh, very creative.
Really?
No, not at all. Next time, call us first, yeah?
Yeah.
Call Goodfellas AC for free estimates and second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Over the years, LearnerRow has helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. What does that mean to you when you're looking for an attorney to handle your personal injury case? That means that LearnerRow is a law firm that not only has experience, but the proven results to recover money for your injuries. The insurance companies know which attorneys won't put up a fight. When you call us, we call them, and they know they have to pay.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Let's see, something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here. Ma'am, our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you. Because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at CumulusBoost.com.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains from May 24th through June 3rd. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Summer's here, and so are the deals at Target's Hello Summer Sale.
Let's go.
Get ready for perfect patio days with up to 30% off outdoor furniture, rugs, and decor. Banana splits for dinner? Yes, please.
I love it.
Select favorite day ice cream, toppings, and treats are 20% off. And road trip ready summer style is easy to pack with 30% off select swimsuits, tees, and sandals for the whole family. Target's Hello Summer Sale ends Monday. Restrictions apply.
I love it.
Tune in this Friday at 7 p.m. as Chip Hale and your Arizona Wildcats take the field for the semifinals of the final Pac-12 baseball tournament.
Here comes the winning run, and the Cats have won it. Arizona is champion of the Pac-12.
All of the postseason action can be heard right here on your home of the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Does it get sweeter than that?
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We thank Roxy Bernstein for joining us on the show today. Again, he'll have the TV call for you tonight on the Pac-12 Network. And as he mentioned, this will be the last broadcast for the Pac-12 Network because tomorrow's championship game, if the Wildcats are in, that will be viewed on ESPNU. So hard to believe that it's real now. We've gotten to that point. The end of the Pac-12 as we know it, the end of this conference as we know it, one that obviously I grew up in, having moved to the West Coast in first grade in 1974 and kind of falling in with a bunch of kids who loved the UCLA Bruins growing up, and that was my first team in the Pac-12 that I fell in love with, and I was a Bruin from probably the age 8, 7, all the way till I made the decision to attend the school across the road, across the city.
Burned all your light blue stuff, or what?
Exactly. I remember because I went to high school in Illinois. I remember when UCLA played Illinois in the Rose Bowl. My sophomore year in high school, man, and all my teachers and all the kids were big Illini fans, and I was literally the only one in the school that was rooting for the Bruins in that one right there. But, yeah, and then it just kind of going through, I mean, when you grew up really cheering for one team, school, believing that's the school you're going to go to, I mean, literally from the time that I was 7 years old, I thought I was going to UCLA. That was the school I wanted to go to. And then you start going through it as a senior and looking at all of the options. And I remember when my counselor presented the option of USC to me, and I looked at her like, Don't you know who I am? You don't know me. You do not know me. But she's like, yeah, they've got a pretty good broadcasting school. That's what you want to do. You should probably look at them. And I was, and she said, and I think you might actually be able to get in there a little bit easier than you could to get into the University of California system, and that's kind of the way it happened.
Can we separate this being the final event on the Pac-12 network from being the final Pac-12 conference event overall this weekend? In that, I love Roxy, I love all the content. I've never really had a problem with the way that productions were done on that network. My question to you, DK, is now that the conference is done, how much do you think that had to do with the hard-headedness early on? I mean, clearly the goal was to get as many of the Olympic sports because the conference was world famous for its Olympic athletes, didn't get a chance to get on television. That whole DirecTV debacle, right? I mean, there was just like so much national press about that. My question is, how much do you think the conference may have survived if they had a little more exposure in the last 12 years and to the last 5 years, I would say, before COVID, pre-COVID, in that a lot of the other conferences jumped on board a lot more than national networks. And so if you wanted to go to school and have your grandma see you on television, far more likely maybe to have that happen in the Big 10, Big 12, ACC or so forth, as opposed to because the way they ran. I'm sorry, what was his name again? The guy who came from tennis?
Larry, was it?
Anyway, he was the one.
Larry Scott.
Yeah, Larry Scott. Under his leadership, I mean, they were really hard-headed about how you could pick up. I never, ever have had a problem with the Pac-12 network and the way it's run. Right. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm even asking here, but because they had such a hard time, I just heard for years and years and years and years and years, I want to watch the Arizona Wildcats and I can't.
Well, I'm not going to get off my statement that I've made the entire time. I've never had satellite television. So the fact that DirecTV wouldn't do a deal didn't mean anything to me personally. Are there more people out there that have DirecTV than have cable? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe
now, but 11 years ago, maybe.
I always thought that, if DirecTV did not want to come to the table and play ball. See, again, I think To me, I've always believed that you've got to be who you are. You cannot let outsiders dictate to you the parameters. So I always was in favor of the conference holding tight to what they believed they were truly worth. You can't undersell yourself. Did that come back eventually? Was that the thing that hurt them? I'm not going to sit here and say that was it. I'll still hold my university extremely accountable for what happens, because the bottom line is if I think this conference is still together if USC doesn't make the decision to leave.
But that's my question.
If USC had made the decision to lead instead of leave.
Yeah. But the reasoning behind them leaving was football revenue not being as competitive in this conference relative to what they might receive outside of the conference, right?
Yes.
So, and that conversation started 4 or 5 years ago, the way I understand it. Again, there's no finger pointing here. I'm not trying to blame the commission. I'm not trying to blame the network or anything like that. I just think it's super sad to see the conference dissolve. We've talked about this all summer. And this being, we kind of hit home when Roxy said right there, this is the final ever broadcast from that network. Sports broadcast.
Hard to believe.
Of a live action. And again, say what you will. The fact that the content that I've always seen on the network, never had a problem with. But the fact that there is a finality to it all. Last basketball tournament, last football game. Here we are, a baseball postseason tournament, and we're not going to be tuning in to try to find out what channel the Pac-12's on. And somebody's going on vacation, try to find the Pac-12 on somebody's different, television receivers, and it's just, I don't know, man. There's a finality to it that's not. It's sad. It's really sad to see the conference be done and to see this be the last broadcast from that network.
So that brings us, obviously, to what happened yesterday and the decision by the NCAA Board of Governors and every Power 5 conference to settle terms in the landmark House versus the NCAA lawsuit. And this was a lawsuit that was brought by a number of college athletes who felt that their rights to earn endorsements were infringed upon. And it's going to change the landscape of college athletics as we know it. First of all, a whole lot of people are going to get paid. Now, how much they're going to get paid, we don't know. But this is a $2.8 billion NIL payback, or back pay is what they're calling it.
What if you were a student athlete 11 years ago?
It depends. I think if you felt like you had an opportunity to cash in on your NIL or your name and image, and you felt like the NCAA prevented you from doing that, I think you're probably going to have to show some proof that I had this opportunity and I couldn't do it because the NCAA wouldn't let me. Now, I don't know that everybody's going to get money from this. I think, I don't know that that's going to be the case.
I read the $2.4 billion that they're going to put in is for the last 10 years of student athletes. I don't know if that's a statute of limitations thing or how that works, but there's a whole. I just think of the abandons when I think of this whole thing.
So, again, players are going to now get a cut of the billions of dollars flooding into the NCAA under this new system. I like I said at the beginning of the show, with Roxy, I can't tell you what this means. I can't tell you how this is going. We've been hearing the term. This is going to change college athletics. I'm not here to tell you how that's going to change college athletics. I am not an economist. That's not what I went to school to study.
No.
I did not go to school to study money. If I was an economist, I'd probably be doing something that was paying me a lot more than I make now.
You sleep better at night doing what you're doing, though.
Yes, I do. I sleep very well. I slept very nicely last night. But the landscape of this has changed. I'm going to read you the release, or the statement that the Arizona Wildcats put out that was penned by Desiree Reed-Francois, just to kind of give you an indication of where they stand. This was put out yesterday afternoon, right after our show, about the time our show was ending. This all dropped yesterday. The Big 12 Conference, along with the NCAA, the Atlantic Coast Conference, the Big 10, the Pac-12, the Southeastern Conference, have voted to approve the proposed settlement of outstanding antitrust litigation. The proposed settlement represents a major shift in the landscape of college athletics, with other litigation still to be addressed. Recognizing that these significant changes were on the horizon, the University of Arizona Department of Athletics has been strategizing and preparing for months to build a modern college athletics model that is adaptive to change and supports our student athletes. Although there's still much to be done and more to learn, the University of Arizona will be a leading voice during these crucial times. Our department is working on navigating this transformation to ensure that we are positioned to continue our legacy of excellence for years to come. The future of Arizona athletics will remain focused on our student athletes and providing the best experience for them to grow and develop as champions in competition, in the classroom, and in our community. We remain committed to that mission by competing at the highest levels and representing this incredible institution and community with pride. Our future model aims to maintain a robust and vibrant Department of Athletics that elevates the campus in our community by increasing applications, philanthropy, enrollment, and brand awareness. Arizona Athletics will also continue to serve as an economic driver for the Tucson community and the state of Arizona through generating an annual economic impact of $265 million from athletics events. We are embracing this newest challenge as an opportunity. Our athletics department will continue to work hard to make the Wildcat family proud. And that is signed by your Vice President and Director of Athletics, Desiree Reed Francois. Now, what I'm hearing is that obviously, CBS Sports put out an article. I'll just read you what they said. The winners, obviously, are the players, because players are going to make money. The losers are the NCAA in this. Also winning are the boosters and fan pocketbooks. Because, again, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the booster kind of thing transitions now into this new era. Among the losers, though, competitive balance. That's the biggest fear, I think.
Yeah.
Is how this is going to really skew competitive balance in college athletics.
I mean, if you look at maybe Alabama, for instance, in the last 10 years, DK, how many five-star linemen do they get on both sides of the ball every year, right?
Yeah.
A ton. So if you have a situation where you've got a Yankees salary cap and there's one team that has the ability to spend 5 times, 10 times as much as the second team, how much fun is that to watch? Because, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes here, amateur athleticism. There's something to be said about being so young and dumb that you make mistakes, not really knowing how your feet work yet. I mean, you see a person who's in their mid-20s, early 30s in professional sports, there's a level of consistency because they've been doing it for so damn long. College athletics isn't supposed to be about that. Those big shining moments are meant to come from guys who screw up sometimes, right? And so if you have this element of professionalism, I have another question really quick. How does this affect NFL draft eligibility? Because, right now you got to be 3 years removed from high school or exhaust. But, if they're technically employees, I don't know. There's some funky things relative to how the whole college to pros pipeline works with athletes being considered employees from now on. And again, it's going to be at least 6 months till we get all the details of how this is going to be worked out. But really interesting how it's all changing. And it's all happened so fast in the last, 3 years.
And I think the biggest loser it seems to be the consistent thought is going to be non-revenue sports. Your sports like tennis and golf and swimming, the sports that are not bringing in money. Because, again, if these athletic departments, which are already cash-strapped, are now going to have to potentially pay out more millions of dollars to support the top half, the revenue producers, football and basketball and some of those sports, it's going to affect the sports on the lower end. Right now, Arizona is an athletic department with 22 programs. But again, they really have 16 programs because, track and field makes up 6 of those programs when you talk about cross country and indoor and outdoor, which are all considered separate seasons, but it's really one program. So Arizona essentially has 16 programs when you look at it. will they have less than that?
You know,
will there be sports that go away to support the money that has to be paid out to
one easy solution for that revenue generating issue is if they go to David Kelly's accounting service, they can get super creative like they did at the school up north today. If you heard about that, they just dissolved the $300 million debt by folding the athletic department in with the general school.
Really?
So all of the money is tied up together now. They did that today. So
ASU did that.
ASU did that today.
Wow.
$300 million. They just wrote it off, and now everything is tied up together. And again, a lot of funky details behind the scenes. I'm not an accountant either. I'm not about to sit here or economist. I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly how that all worked out. But yeah, I read this morning that they just they put the athletic department with the general fund for the university together now.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. We'll have to look more into that next week. We'll get a whole lot more into what's happening in college athletics and in Tucson. Some news about potentially the Roadrunners' fate has come out as well. It's DK on the Sports Tip. JW Madden is here, as well as Cricket. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions that are reported Los Reales and Cardinal and Los Reales, Grant Road and Silver Bell, Alvernon and 29th Street, and also Valencia east of I-19 at Santa Clara. Still some westbound slowing on Valencia approaching I-19. 65 the low, 90 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday, 99 on Memorial Day, and 96 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save money on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Again, that's Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. Well, Indiana, it's been a heck of a run. Now, I'm not saying that it's over. Not yet, at least. You know I would not give up on your Pacers. You know I would not leave your Pacers bleeding out on the side of the road in a gutter. But that's kind of where you are right now, right? I'm not leaving you for dead, but what I am saying is it's not good. What went down on the parquet last night was pretty much the worst-case scenario for the Pacers. They were waving the white flag early in the fourth quarter, but on top of all of that, their star Tyrese Halliburton left the game with a bad hammy. Well, a re-aggravation of an existing bad hammy. All together now, Pacer fan. We don't know the severity of that re-aggravation yet, but we do know the last time he was hurt, he missed 10 games. They can't afford to lose him for 10 more minutes, much less one game. Indeed, Pacer fan. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Get in on the playoff action as you and the world's best players take the game to a new level during basketball's postseason. Download the app right now. Use the code ROME for a first deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions and details.
Extend the life of your engine with regular oil changes and save at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, pick up 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $31.99. Or upgrade to a MicroGuard Select filter for just $2 more. Limit supply, available in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like the Arizona Pep Band is riding in your back seat.
What the hell is going on?
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Southern Arizona Radiology Associates have been dedicated to providing superior images and quality care for the last 35 years. They're the one you trust when you need an X-ray, CT scan, ultrasound, mammogram, or MRI. They have locations in Tucson, Green Valley, and Sierra Vista. Ask your doctor to refer you to Southern Arizona Radiology Associates today. That's Southern Arizona Radiology Associates. Visit their website at sararadiology.com or call 520-335-6849 for more information.
Attention Tucson. Remember, if it's game day and the Wildcats are taking the floor, you can count on 1290 to bring you all the play-by-play action, the biggest pre- and post-game show in the Pac-12. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
J.W. Madden over there just dropping some stunning news at the end of the last hour. Just like it was like casually. I loved how you casually dropped that ASU just rolled over $300 million worth of debt into the university.
Yeah, I mean, I was waiting for us to talk about money until I brought it up. No, it just happened. I mean, it just happened hours ago, the way I understand it. So it's a developing story. And
it is.
I didn't, honestly, story. I'm not smart enough or more read in enough to really be able to describe getting rid of $300+ million. Apparently, they were the second most indebted athletic department to Cal.
Yeah. Right.
And, waited until they hired a new AD, I guess. And now they're just going to poof, $300 million debt gone.
So I'm reading this from the Arizona Republic. And this is, I guess, Michael Crow did speak today on this issue. And I want to read you what he said. And we'll see maybe if we can get the actual sound and play this later. In terms of the athletics department and the restructuring of the Arizona State Athletics Department, he said a lot of athletic programs around the country nowadays borrow money from the universities and then they carry debt with the university. So all we've done is eliminated all of that. We've built a structure now for finances which can weather any hurricane going forward, any tumult we might encounter. We've built the athletic facilities district as a legal entity which generates the revenue to build things like this stadium. We've created all types of other financial structures that are going to allow ASU athletics to be able to advance. We came through the pandemic with no debt. We came through the pandemic with no layoffs in the university, no reductions in salary or furloughs. So we built a financial structure. What has happened in the past is that athletics was considered a separate thing, like it is at most universities, an auxiliary enterprise. It's not an auxiliary enterprise now. It is in the core of the enterprise of Arizona State University. So we've changed the model that's going to allow us to have our athletic department focus on victory and success of our student athletes academically and athletically, The rest of the enterprise is going to worry about the bigger financial issues.
Now, most of the snarky comments I read concerning this issue, DK, was this, quite simply. 65,000 students. I mean, there's been a lot of jokes about diploma factory, whatever, easy to get into ASU. My question is this to you. Let's say hypothetically that the athletic department really struggles with its television revenue income, the teams don't put enough butts in the seats, and at some point down the road, when do they now, because it's all lumped together in one big sum, when does the amount of money that the average student has to pay to attend the school now get increased to help make sure that they have enough athletes to play the sports? You know, generally it's been about revenue generating sports, helping the non-revenue generating sports be able to travel around the country to all these games and whatnot. But now that it's all together, it just seems a little gray there in the general population of the student body's book sale, the prices of books at the bookstore, how much it costs us to live in the dorms. If all of that's supplementing the athletic department, doesn't that get into a little sticky situation in that not all people like sports?
I can't wait to hear what Governor Katie Hobbs has to say about this one.
Creative accounting.
She did not like the creative accounting that was going on down here in Tucson.
Right.
I'm sure she's probably looking at this up in Phoenix today saying, what the...
I think most athletic departments around the country are, probably thinking the same thing.
Oh, and the interesting thing about this, this article in the AZ Central, the Republic, quoted the numbers out of Sportico, which is a website that deals with college athletics and finances. So if you go to Sportico and you look at, there's a chart here, outstanding athletic debts for last fiscal year, which was 22-23. Actually, this was 2 years ago now because last year because this is 23-24 is what we're in now. So 22-23, Arizona State had the second most outstanding debt of any of the major Power 5 conferences schools, $313 million. You know who was number one? Cal at $439 million. Then San Diego State. Then Ohio State, then Illinois. We'll just do this as a top 10. That's your top 5. Georgia, Texas A&M, Michigan, Washington, and Iowa round out the top 10 in terms of outstanding athletic debt. You know where Arizona is on this list? Way down at number 34. So as much as we want to complain, and yes, I mean, debt is debt. That's $125 million worth of debt. There's like major more schools that have more debt than the University of Arizona currently, including a bunch of schools in the conference that they're currently leaving. Cal, Washington, Oregon, among those. Washington State is above Arizona on this list.
What's the endowment at Cal versus ASU, though?
I have no idea.
Right? I mean, Cal is where all the, people who win awards for, curing cancers and whatnot go to school, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that $300 million debt is no longer. That's all I know.
It's gone away. Poof. Just like that. Poof goes Arizona's $300 million debt. All right. Cricket is back with us now.
Hello.
With it is Memorial Day week. So cricket, we were saying earlier in the show, this is the first official, what we call cookout day of the summer.
Okay.
Because cookout to me has always been a summer term.
Sure.
I mean, J-Dub was saying, because it's warm here, you could essentially cook out in February.
Of course.
But that leads us to believe, well, the conversation was kind of like, is that really more a term for places where they have seasons?
It's like the idea that if you wait 6-7 months before you can go outside because it's so damn cold,
right?
Relative to here where we got shorts on in February, you're out at the pool a lot quicker than you are if you're in Michigan.
Exactly. I agree.
So cooking out was kind of like, that's when I was growing up, it was like your first major cookout was Memorial Day. Then your next cookout was 4th of July, and then your last cookout is Labor Day before you go back to school. So this was kind of the first cookout was really when summer started.
It's true summer.
Really went true summer this weekend when you get your first cookout. So are you cooking out anything?
No.
This weekend?
No, not at all.
No.
What about you guys? You boys?
Well, the cook is over there.
Yeah, he's
maybe. I don't know.
The cook is on camera 5 right there.
You know, we gave ourselves one of the best Christmas presents ever. I got a Dutch oven that has a grill lid. So yeah, I could pretty much grill anything. It's basically a cast iron grill. It's amazing.
Cool.
So yeah.
What are you going to make us? What are you going to bring for us on Tuesday?
Whatever you want. DK's a little picky eater. I offered to bring something, but he hasn't told me what he wanted yet.
You know, the only thing I don't do is fish and cheese.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
That picky. And yeah, if it's not fish and cheese, I'll eat it.
And he's good.
Well, I don't do like lamb.
And sweets. You don't like chocolate, right?
I'm okay with like straight chocolate. I just don't I'm not into like the nuts and that kind of thing in my chocolate. I'll eat my nuts, but separately of my chocolate.
Oh, okay.
So I have like a Hershey's Kiss or a Hershey's bar. I can do that. Okay. But I'm not like, I don't want like the what my mom likes those Reese's. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's Paige's favorite. What are you cooking out this weekend, DK?
I don't think I'm really cooking out anything because we were gonna maybe cook Sunday, but then my mom's got a friend in town, and so she offered to cook for us.
Is that why you were at the airport?
Yeah,
that's sweet. You're picking up your mom's friend from the airport.
And so she offered to cook for us on Sunday. So I think I don't think we might do something on Monday. I think we're gonna play some golf on Sunday, and we might maybe cook something on Monday, but. Nothing elaborate is on the menu at the Kelly household this weekend.
Fair enough.
There we go. All right. So what do we got going on, though, this weekend?
Well, we've got tomorrow morning, if you want to get up early and get your workout on, there's goat yoga tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. at Udall Park. $25 to get you in. I'll be at my second job tomorrow selling cars.
Yeah.
So
what?
Well, cars or meat, like one of the two, right?
Yeah, I'm either selling meat or cars.
Yeah.
But
you got a remote.
Yeah, I got a gig. I'll be at Jim Click Nissan noon to 2 tomorrow on Auto Mall Drive. Some select Nissan Sentra S's, $19,999.
Damn.
And the 2024s. Tomorrow night, there's a tribute to Daft Punk at Club Congress.
I was hoping you were going to mention that.
So I know you like to dance, but I know you're busy this weekend. But get your dance on.
Yeah, I've got to go. I'm going to an event with my mother tomorrow night, so I was kind of unhappy to hear that there was a Daft Punk night because I can't go though.
That'd be your thing, though.
Yeah.
I understand.
One More Time. That is a legend. That is one of the legendary dance songs of all time.
I knew you'd know. I knew you'd know what I was talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, and then on Sunday at 7 p.m., the Tucson Pops Orchestra Concert Series at the DeMeester Outdoor Performance Center in Reed Park. And this concert is going to be a tribute to the military.
I'm going to a white party. Have you ever been to a white party?
I've never.
Never. Have you ever been to a white party, J-Dub?
Everybody wears clean white clothes.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, probably, but it would have been more of a goof as opposed to like, we're so cool because we got such clean threads or whatever.
So my wife had to go buy me because I didn't have any white shirts really. So she bought me one of those white button-down shirts off of Amazon because she loves to shop on Amazon.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I guess I'm behind the curve on that.
You're the only one?
I'm the only one that doesn't buy clothes.
I mean, who's the richest man in the world these days? I think a couple people probably shop on Amazon.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's a thing.
All right.
I hear.
Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported First Avenue in Orange Grove, Irvington east of I-19, Grant Road in Silver Bell, and also Valencia east of I-19 at Santa Clara, westbound slowing on Valencia, approaching I-19. 65 the low, 90 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday, and 99 on Memorial Day. 96 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Offer N61. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
Not all sports stations are built the same way. 1290 has Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball, plus the NFL and the Super Bowl. Tucson Trust's 1290. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist?
You don't say.
Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
What's keeping you from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make learning fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. And in 10 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
That's not long.
It's not hard.
It's perfect.
It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
Not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Hey guys, what are you...
Gotta take this. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Thank you for... Right. You don't say. Now.
Hold it. What's with all the nows?
People want to know the best time for an Alaskification.
And you're telling them...
Hello? Now.
Well, there's no bad time for an Alaskification, but the best time is now.
Pretty soon, Arizona temps are going to put a strain on your AC. Now is really the best time.
You're not telling people about all the money they save?
Now.
Or how Alaskan AC will make their AC last longer?
Now.
Or the big 1-year guarantee that their AC will not break down?
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Well, Ron wants to tell you a bunch of stuff. I know. That's kind of what I told him. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, now.
The best time for an Alaskification is...
now.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com.
Wildcats fans from coast to coast can bring a little bit of Tucson to themselves wherever they happen to be by streaming 1290 on our website at WildcatsRadio1290.com. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by T-Mobile. And then there was one. 3 unbeatens entered last night in the WNBA, but only the Sun emerged, now 4-0 after an overtime victory against the previously unbeaten Lynx. DeWanna Bonner led the way for Connecticut with 20 points, including a pair of free throws with 7 seconds to go in OT. They put the Sun on top for good. Napisha Collier had a game-high 31 points in the losing effort for Minnesota. The Sky handed the Liberty their first loss of the season with a 90-81 victory. Marina Mabry scored 21 to spark Chicago to its second straight win, despite 2 strong games from New York's former number 1 overall picks. Brianna Stewart posted her 3rd double-double of the season, while Sabrina Ionescu chipped in 19. And speaking of number 1 overall picks, Caitlin Clark takes the court again tonight with the Fever, still searching for their first W, tipping off against the Sparks at 10 p.m. Eastern. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amy Lawrence on Westwood One.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. Like 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. Switch today.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome Plan. Benefits vary. See details.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or going to the grocery store for milk instead of buying your own cow. You know there's an easier and better way. Save up to 25% when you bundle home and auto with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. All state vehicle and property insurance.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Updating your Pac-12 Conference Baseball semifinal number 1. Top of the 9th inning, Southern California leading California 7-4, but the Golden Bears are threatening with 2 on. They will get the tying run to the plate. The winner goes to the Pac-12 Conference Championship game on Saturday night against the winner of the game coming up a little bit later between Arizona and Stanford. You will hear that game right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. First pitch coming up at 7:05. We have got you all the way till 6:50 when Brian Jeffries will take over with the call of that game. And it'll be DK on the Sports Tip right up to 6 o'clock. And then our Arizona Baseball pregame extra, I should say, coming up from 6 to 6:50. Last night, game 2 of the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals, and was not much of a game, was not nearly as exciting as game 1 was, as the Indiana Pacers got blown out by the Boston Celtics in game number 2 last night. They fall 126-110. So the Celtics will head to Indianapolis with a 2-0 lead over the Pacers. 40 points last night for Jaylen Brown. 14 of 27 from the floor. He had 4 of 10 threes. 40 points to lead the Celtics.
They didn't settle. I don't know if I watched quite a bit of that game, and every time I looked up, Jaylen Brown was right at the rim. Not dunking on people, but laying it in. Just really efficient, really making a concerted effort, obviously, to get into the paint. And it was really, I think, the Pacers' defense last night that kind of let him down. And once Tyrese Halliburton had re-aggravated that hamstring issue, he had missed 10 games earlier in the season. He went out in the third, DK, and that was a wrap. In fact, Carlisle emptied the bench with about 5 minutes to go. They still had a chance to get back in that game because the defense just too porous last night. Celtics were really on. They've been the best team all year, not really surprising. A couple of up-and-down games in the playoffs, but Celtics overall, I mean, even without Kristaps Porzingis, the most solid group, obviously with the most experience left.
Tyrese Halliburton, you mentioned last night, 10 points, 8 assists, did not turn the ball over. 8 assists to 0 turnovers for Tyrese Halliburton. And you had some pretty interesting numbers about historically where he ranks as a guy in the assist to turnover category.
Well, people may remember earlier in this year, he had a 20 assist, I think it was 1 turnover game, which is, 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio is pretty damn good for a point guard at that level. 20-to-1 DK is just off the charts. The next night he followed it up with 21-0. So, he had a stretch this year with 41 assists and 2 turnovers in 2 games. I did the math, and this year he had the highest assist to turnover ratio ever of all time for players who have led the NBA in assists per game. 10.9 assists, 2.3 turnovers per game. Just super efficient. I think he's only 24 years old. I love a guy who I think a lot of people get carried away watching Russell Westbrook dunk on people. And they lose sight of the fact that he averages 6 turnovers per game. And if you're a person trying to get the offense going, DK, and 6 times a game you're turning the ball over to the other team, you're just, and even if you're trying to make things happen, Steph Curry had the same issue when he was early in his career. But Tyrese Halliburton, for such a young player, just has so much control. What if I told you this year he went 20-10, under 3 turnovers? 20 points, 10 assists, under 3 turnovers. That's only happened 4 times in the history of the NBA. Chris Paul did it twice. Tyrese Halliburton has now done it twice. Those are the only 2 players who've ever done that. So I love the 2010s. I love the guys who can combo guard it up and get their own points and also set their teammates up. But doing that efficiently with under 3 turnovers a game, it's outrageous. And especially because they play at the fastest pace in the NBA. So, yeah, I'm a big fan.
It was a pretty interesting list of guys. I mean, a lot of familiar names on there. You mentioned Chris Paul, John Stockton, who led the league for years.
I got the top 10.
In assist-to-turnover ratio.
Top 10 assist-to-turnover ratios of all time. This is 4 players who led the NBA in assists that year. Now, it should be noted that 70% of the games is what they require. So you had to play in 68 games this season to qualify for the NBA leaderboard. So Tyrese Haliburton finished 10.9. I think Trae Young would have been second at like 10.7, but he got injured, only played in, I think, 6 fewer games than he needed to. So he's not on the list. But the all-time players who led the NBA in assists, their assist-to-turnover ratio that season, Haliburton this year, 4.7 to 1 was his average. Averaged 4.7 assists for every 1 turnover. Chris Paul is number 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Beyond that, Johnny Moore, 81-82. He had a 4.4 to 1. And then it's John Stockton, Steve Nash, John Stockton. So
the
good
legendary
company.
Johnny Moore.
The legendary Johnny Moore.
San Antonio, the Spurs. You remember him at all?
I do not. I was not following basketball in 1981. I was 6. So.
He was pretty good in the 80s, Johnny Moore was. That's maybe the one name on that list that most people probably don't know.
And for anybody here on the stream who might be watching, I actually did the actual math involved with because I couldn't find anywhere. I couldn't find anywhere the information about assist turnover ratios for assist leaders. So I just went ahead and looked it all up.
Write a story, write an article, and we'll put that up on the website, and then everybody will come to our website when they want to know that information.
I will. We'll do.
There you go. The legendary Johnny Moore played at Texas. He was a 4-year starter at Texas.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I'll tell you this. If Hallie had been a Sun, then if it had been relative to one of the teams that we cover on a regular basis here on the show, I would write an article. I don't know if people really want to hear about some guy from Wisconsin playing for the Pacers in Tucson, but the fact that he's Benedict Matherin's, point guard and playing with TJ is the main reason why I started following it. But I like Tyrese Haliburton. He used to sit down and do some interviews when he was 21, 22. Just a really thoughtful, well-spoken guy. So, yeah, I'm a fan for sure.
USC has beaten Cal 7-4 in the Pac-12 Conference Baseball semifinals. So the Trojans are in the title game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. They'll await the winner of number 1 seed Arizona against number 8 seed Stanford.
Cal has to be in, right?
The tournament?
Yeah.
I would think so. I mean, you don't. You
said 18 out of 20?
It's crazy. I mean, there was a year when Arizona won 14 games in a row at the end of the year and didn't get in. So I would not put anything past this committee. I mean, I think they're now 20 of their last. They're 20-6 in their last 26 games.
Right.
You would think a team that hot gets in based on that. Are you peaking at the right time? But stranger things have happened with these committees, so I don't ever want to put anything past them.
We'll know Sunday.
We will know. Well, we'll know Monday. Sunday we'll know who's hosting. I think
so the actual bracket comes out Monday.
The bracket in baseball has always been a Monday thing, so we will wait and find out on Monday who's who and who's going where for sure. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. One NBA game tonight. That is the Western Conference Finals, Game 2, Dallas and Minnesota. That game will start here. Actually, it is starting as we speak right now. So let's hear from a few of the particulars in that series. Rudy Gobert of the Minnesota Timberwolves talked about what adjustments the T-Wolves need to make against Luka and Kyrie.
Looking back on that game, and what can you guys do better to make it harder on them at the rim?
I think just be a little tougher, and our awareness got to be better, transition, and I got to do a better job on the boards. I thought they got way too many balls when I was on the floor, so just a couple of things that I think we can all do better.
Was it their activity on the glass?
Sure,
or what,
sure. They're very active, they're very athletic, and they're very talented, so we know that they're here for a reason. They're a really, really good team, but we got to do a better job, on that end for sure.
realistic, their goal is just to get the ball into the lane, and then once they get it there, then create options. Is that what it's like? They just want to get to the paint, and then once they get to the paint, they can't figure it out?
I mean, they got two of the, Kyrie and Luka, two of the best players getting to the paint. So for sure, that's what they're trying to do. And they have bigs and they have wings that are athletic. So we gotta contain the ball a little better and then make sure we do a better job on the boards.
Are they a lot different than what you played in the regular season with the
I mean, for sure, they did some great moves at the trade deadline. They added 2 key pieces for them on top of the talent that they already have. So it's it's a really good team.
Really good team indeed. Kyrie Irving had 30 points in game 1, just 3 behind his guy, Luka Doncic, who had 33. So they combined for 63 points in the opening win for the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie Irving on playing with Luka Doncic.
In the playoffs, being up a game, how much do you guys talk about just not being satisfied as a group and to keep applying that pressure?
I mean, we just have honest conversations of just the type of energy we have to bring into the game, and also just being aware that we're playing against a great team, and we want to respect the other group, and I think that's most important, just respecting your opponent and giving the game what it needs. So just getting prepared, make sure you're rested, making sure the strategy is ingrained in your head for tonight, and just be ready for a war-like environment, very loud and very physical.
Kyrie, you and Luka talked about how you guys have formed your guys' relationship.
Mm-hmm.
How much did having a championship winning and a former superstar coach kind of like guiding that building of the relationship also help?
It makes things a lot easier. We don't take our skill sets or talents for granted. We understand that comes from God, that comes from a spiritual source. So when we get a chance to express how we feel about each other, we're very authentic, we're very honest, and I think that translates on the court. A lot of our closeness starts on our relationships as brothers off the court, and then it just makes it easier to go out there and compete. We just respect each other's skill sets, like I said.
How do you feel about the coverage that they got on you on defense last game, and the difference between first half and second half for you?
It was a great first half. Felt like I was just pacing the game a little bit and just making sure we got up the floor. I was understanding that they were coming off of Game 7, so they could have been a little fatigued, but we just wanted to stay aggressive and make sure that we took advantage of the easy opportunities. And in the second half, I like to say that Luka joined the party, my teammates joined the party, and when we're playing well like that, it goes a long way in terms of just our poise and just being comfortable in the game. We understand we're going against a great team, like I said, but we just got to keep staying aggressive and make sure that they feel us as well.
All right, that's Kyrie Irving. Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals is tonight, and that game is about to get underway. Also tonight, on the hockey side, we will have a Game 2 as well there in the Eastern Conference Finals. That game is underway tonight. New York with an early 1-0 lead on Florida. The Panthers won Game 1 of that series and lead it 1-0.
Don't look now.
Last night, Edmonton in 2 overtimes beat Dallas 3-2. So the Oilers get a surprise Game 1 win on the Western Conference.
David Kelly, have you checked the scores from the Omni La Costa North course lately?
I have not. I was going to do that during the break.
Well, right now, I see a team ranked number 1 called Arizona, who are even through 12 to 14. Second place, Georgia Tech, Virginia, Illinois, tied at +2. 2-stroke lead right now for the team.
Nice. The Arizona Wildcats on top. Round 1. It's early. But Arizona has the lead in Carlsbad. It's DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. J-Dub is here. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it is Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Valencia, east of I-19, earlier crash involving a bus and still affecting traffic westbound Valencia approaching I-19 for backups. Other collisions that are reported, Grant Road and Silver Bell, Irvington east of I-19 and also First Avenue and Orange Grove. 65 the low, 90 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday, and 99 on Memorial Day. 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale is here. Get a Sleepy's Queen mattress at the lowest price ever, just $89.99. This deal ends Tuesday, so don't wait. Visit Mattress Firm and save over 60%. In-store pickup only while supplies last. Find your nearest one today.
Hey, it's David Kelly. Do you know the radio is not the only place to find Wildcats Radio 1290? You can stream us by downloading our 1290 app.
A deep three is good, and the Cats are on top.
We're also available on the iHeartMedia and Odyssey apps, or head to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Touchdown, Cats.
We're even on Alexa. Just ask her to put on Wildcats Radio 1290 so you never miss any of Southern Arizona's most important and in-depth conversation.
At Standard Restaurant Supply, their vision and number one goal is to improve the lives of their customers and clients by providing a better culinary experience. Standard Restaurant Supply, if it's in a restaurant and not food, they have it. Open to the public, no membership fees, and they offer bulk store pricing without the bulk store purchase. Open Monday through Saturday at 601 South Cherry Avenue or call 885-2345. Standard Restaurant Supply is a proud sponsor of the U of A Radio Sports broadcast.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4214. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-4214. That's 800-575-4214.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rock & Kay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Hit the community trails, explore local parks like Saguaro National and Colossal Cave, and mingle at private Diamond Community Park events. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rock & Kay is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 11 different model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. Live RockandK.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
At Nova Home Loans, we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to enjoy the independence that comes with home ownership. Whether you're a first-time home buyer who needs down payment assistance, have less than perfect credit, or looking to refinance, Nova has a variety of home loan programs for your unique situation. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com or call 800-955-9125 to learn more. Not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Rates and available loan programs are subject to change without notice. NMLS 3087, BK 0902429, Equal Housing Opportunity.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we fight. We fight for accident victims, injured workers, abused seniors, those harmed by dogs, negligence, or malpractice. We fight the government and big corporations. And most importantly, we fight the insurance companies. We've been fighting for Arizonans since 1989. We go to court, we fight, and we win. Call Goldberg and Osborne and let the Eagle fight for you. Now accepting work injury cases.
John brings his skewed sense of humor. Jeff brings tips to cut strokes off your next round. Together, it's those weekend golf guys.
More distance. I mean, that is what everybody wants.
Nobody has ever showed up on my lesson tee saying, Jeff, I hit it plenty far. It's embarrassing. Nobody will play with me anymore. I drive the green. They don't say that either. Hell, I'm hitting it over the green into the pond back there.
Those weekend golf guys, the podcast, part of the Believe Network. Just search BLEAV on YouTube or wherever you listen.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, the FC Tucson women will play their first game tomorrow over in El Paso against the Surf. We had a chance to chat with Katie Rexius a little bit earlier. She is a midfielder for the ladies' side, first year with the team, and had played only 1 year of college soccer at the Division I level at San Francisco State. And I asked Katie about the last time she had played soccer competitively.
Yeah, the last time I played competitively was probably with San Ramon FC. That was, I don't know, maybe 2016, something like that.
Wow, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, and then I just dabbled around the Tucson Adult Soccer League, and I was like, you know what, I actually do really miss this, and I miss playing really competitive soccer, with players that are training and want to play a high quality of soccer. So I just missed that aspect of the game, and I saw that tryouts were coming up, and it was kind of this perfect opportunity, and the team's just been so awesome, so I'm really glad I did.
And so you mentioned you have 2 children. I would imagine maybe your children are a little bit older now as well, so that may be allowed for this opportunity for you to take?
Well, yeah, I have a 4-year-old son, and my daughter is a year and a half.
Okay.
So I don't have a newborn or anything, but yeah, that was another reason I think I wanted to step up and do this and show my kids, that you don't have to just be one thing, right? I don't just have to be a veterinary student. I can be a soccer player still, and that it's important to follow what you want to do.
So what's it like being obviously, someone maybe that's a little bit older than some of the girls you're playing with out there?
Yeah, I had no idea how that was going to go. I showed up to tryouts, and I'm like, I'm going to be the grandma here. But no, it's been really great. I mean, the girls are so encouraging and so positive, and I think it just helps change the dynamic on the field too. I remember being a new player in college, and you're just kind of running off of that anxious energy of like, I don't really know what I'm doing out here. It's a new level of play. And so I think what maybe I can bring to the team is that I have been at this level before, and you can kind of be that calming presence out there that's like, yeah, it's okay. We all do know how to play soccer, and we all are here for one reason. So, just because you're 19 and I'm not 19 anymore, that's okay.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Katie Rexis, check her out along with FC Tucson women. They'll be home for their first home match next Saturday, June the 1st at Keno North Stadium. Arizona softball, number 17 in the country, playing at Oklahoma State tonight, game 1 of the Super Regionals. This game is in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It started at 5 o'clock. Right now, Oklahoma State is leading the Wildcats by a score of 2-0. It was a rough first inning for Miranda Stoddard, who started in the circle, faced 7 batters, gave up 3 hits and a walk, and 2 runs came around to score, and those are the 2 runs. Aisa Silva came on in the 2nd inning, pitched a scoreless 2nd, and we are now Oklahoma State batting in the bottom of the 3rd. The Wildcats have just 1 hit so far in the ballgame, and that is a single by Blaze Behringer. It's going to be tough to get hits. This is a very, very good Oklahoma State club. Game number 2 will be tomorrow in Stillwater. If necessary, game 3 on Sunday. So when we come back Tuesday, we'll be talking about whether or not the Arizona Wildcats softball team is moving on to the Women's College World Series. Speaking of moving on, we have been wondering what is going to become of the Tucson Roadrunners hockey team. Well, Craig Morgan, the outstanding Coyotes writer from up in Phoenix, who is now with PHNX, wrote about this yesterday. And among the things he wrote was that there is a vote coming up next week with the AHL Board of Governors on a proposal that was made by Alex Marullo to play 14 of the Roadrunners' 36 home games next season at the Mullet Arena in Tempe. Now, 24 of the 32 members of the Board of Governors would need to vote in favor of this for it to pass. This vote is scheduled for next Thursday. So that would essentially mean that the Roadrunners would play 22 games next year here in Tucson, 14 games in Tempe. The Roadrunners have 2 more years left on their lease at Tucson Arena. So that is kind of where things stand now. We'll get more in depth in this next week, but at least at this moment, it appears that the majority of next season, Tucson will have professional hockey here in the O Pueblo.
So we're not accountants. We established that. Nor schedulers or leasers, because 22 games, DK, sounds a lot to me like maybe a threshold of certain number of games that need to be played in a building in order for a contract to be void.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very odd number, right? Why wouldn't you split it in the middle? So, yeah, I mean, I think we all know what the outcome we'd like to see is. It's such a weird situation. I mean, the 5-year window starts when? Like, he's got a 5-year window.
I think it started when the day they announced it.
And that's a part of this, right?
So, again, it's the Roadrunners apparently always had in their contract that they could play 5 games outside of Tucson. Again, there's annually 36 home games that they play at Tucson Arena. So, at the least, they could play 5 of those games up in Tempe and by contract. But I think what obviously Alex Murillo wants to try to have more of a hockey presence to make up for the fact that the Roadrunners are not going to be there. So very interesting. A vote coming up next week. Still a lot of things to be ironed out with this vote. 24 of the 32 members, again, must vote for this. So we'll see if they vote it down. I mean, this is a proposal. If the Board of Governors of the AHL vote this down, then in all likelihood, you're back to that 31-5 in terms of 31 games here in Tucson and 5 in Tempe. And I heard somebody on a message board said, "Who gets the teddy bear toss game?"
Right. Yeah.
That they have annually, and from the way it sounds, from what Craig Morgan was writing, it would not be a situation where, the Roadrunners play the majority of their games Friday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday. It wouldn't be a situation where Friday's game would be here, Saturday's game would be in Tempe. It would be that entire series would be in one of the locations.
Yeah, same with like the Big 12 scheduling. We try to wrap our brains around like how you're going to do, Florida, West Virginia, so forth and so on. It's got to be grouped in places where it makes sense so that you don't have a lot of back and forth going on. So, yeah, I mean, if they're going to split it up, I think 5 is a lot better than 12.
Yeah.
As far as Tucson fans are concerned.
Absolutely. Carly Godwin has homered for Oklahoma State, a solo home run off of Aisa Silva. Oklahoma State leads Arizona now by a score of 3-0. Game 1 of the NCAA softball Super Regionals. That is happening in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Today in Stillwater, Oklahoma, earlier today, the dramatic, exciting run for Colton Smith in the NCAA Men's Tennis Championship came to an end as he fell to Michael Zhang from Colombia in 3 sets. It got off to a really great start for Colton Smith. He won the first set 6-1, but Michael Zhang came back and took set 2, 6-3, and closed out the match-winning set 3, 7-5. These 2 players met just 2 weeks ago when Arizona and Colombia played in the Sweet 16 on the team side as the number ones for each of those schools. And Michael Zhang had won that match 6-4, 6-1.
So the revenge tour stops at 2 because the previous 2 rounds he defeated players who had beaten him earlier in the year. Yeah.
But he couldn't get the third one. That's amazing how that kind of worked out that way, that you were bracketed with players that you had played before this season.
Well, I think a part of that is how quality the Pac-12 is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those were Pac-12 tennis players. So,
Let's update you real quick on we got some Major League Baseball tonight here in the state of Arizona. Let's update you real quick on your Arizona Diamondbacks and what they've got going on tonight.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff!
Arizona will take on the Miami Marlins tonight. 6:40 first pitch up at Chase Field, the first of 3 games on the weekend for the Marlins on the mound tonight. It'll be Braxton Garrett, a lefty. He has no record at 10.24 ERA. Zach Gallen, the Diamondbacks ace, gets the start. He is 5-3 on the season. He has an earned run average of 3.02. Big game for Corbin Carroll in that final game in Los Angeles as the Diamondbacks got the sweep. It has been a rough go for Corbin Carroll this year. He is hitting on the season below the Mendoza line. You're familiar with the Mendoza line, J-Dub?
You know, I've heard the term a million times, but I'm not sure even of the reference. Is that a player who hit a certain...
Yeah, Manny Mendoza, who was a career hitter of under 200. That is what is going on with Corbin Carroll. He's hitting just 191 this season, but his manager, Torey Lovullo, really liked what Corbin did in that game on Wednesday.
I think he wants to be the guy in that situation to come through for his teammates. And, he has been grinding. It's a known fact. But he got a up curveball, and he jumps on it to break the game open. And, with an infield drawn in, it's not easy to hit and get the ball elevated with a pitcher, especially like Glasnow. But he did a great job. It was a key at-bat. It was a key moment. And he's engaged. And those are the things that we look for young players that are struggling. If they're disengaging in certain areas of your game, we have to get their attention. And we've never done that with him.
Again, he's one of the leaders in that clubhouse, Corbin Carroll, and it's going to come around for him. I mean, he's not going to be a 191 hitter this entire season. I'm sure it's going to. He had 285 last year. He's a 261 career hitter. I'm sure it's going to come around, and we'll see him back in the mid to high 200s before it's all said and done. All right, that is going to wrap up DK on the sports tip for today. But we've got much more coming up for you as we get you set for Arizona Wildcats baseball. Thanks to Katie Rexius for joining us. Thanks to Roxy Bernstein for JW Madden, for Cricket. My name's David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. But again, don't go anywhere. We've got Arizona baseball pregame extra coming up for you next.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Crash clearing at 1st and Orange Grove and 1st Avenue. Also had that earlier collision involving a bus, Valencia, east of I-19. Still backups on westbound Valencia, approaching I-19. 65 the low, clear skies tonight, 90 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday, and 99 on Memorial Day. 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Offer N61. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains from May 24th through June 3rd. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
The savings are heating up at Royal Land Rover. Range Rover Evoque and Range Rover Velar offer cutting-edge technology, high performance, and modern gracefulness. Finance the 2024 Range Rover Evoque or Range Rover Velar starting at 3.9% APR for up to 72 months, excluding taxes, title, and fees due at signing. Now through 5/31/24. For more information, visit Royal Land Rover Tucson or royallandrover.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Remember to tune in to Wildcats Radio 1290 for the biggest pregame show in the Pac-12. Because that's how we roll. We go on the air 4 hours before every football and men's basketball game all season long. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia, and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond Musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer looking for quality car parts in Tucson, look no further. Advance Auto Parts has 6 Tucson locations with over 75 years in business. Advance Auto Parts is the largest car parts retailer in the U.S., and customers know they can trust their products, like Die-Hard batteries. Now with free installation, only found at Advance Auto Parts stores. Take advantage of our same-day delivery and pickup. Just visit our website at stores.advanceautoparts.com and make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Advance Auto Parts for all your car repair needs. Now a proud radio sponsor of the University of Arizona Wildcats.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients. Don't pay for water, pay for clean.
Save $10 when you spend $30 on Tide and Downy. Water content based on the leading Bargain liquid detergent. Must buy at least one participating Tide or Dreft detergent item, plus at least one participating Downy and or Bounce scent booster, liquid fabric softener, or dryer sheets. Prepaid card by mail. Visit pglaundryrebate.com for terms and conditions.
He had that knack, and really the starters have had that knack of getting ahead of hitters. He gets behind here tonight. The 2-0 is hit in the air to left field. Back on that one is Rogers, and that's out of here. Peyton Schultz with his 9th home run of the year, a 3-run home run, and the Bears are up 3-0 here in the third.
Welcome back to Arizona Baseball Pregame Extra. I am David Kelly. We're getting you set for Arizona baseball tonight. The Wildcats and the Stanford Cardinal in a semifinal at the Pac-12 tournament. First pitch coming up at 7:05, and our coverage will begin with Brian Jeffries at 6:50. The number 1 seed Arizona Wildcats will come in with a 34-21 record. 8th seed Stanford is 22-32. They are one of the only teams left, in fact, the only team left in this tournament that is under 500 overall on the season. Arizona and Stanford have faced off 4 times this year. The Wildcats have won all 4 meetings, including a non-conference matchup with the Cardinal in April that came on the tail end of the series in Berkeley, in which the Wildcats swept the California Golden Bears, and then the Cardinal came down here for the Pac-12 series, and Arizona promptly swept that series as well. Shortstop Mason White has hit home runs in both of the Wildcats ball games this week. You heard that home run by Peyton Schultz there against Jackson Kent last night. That was just the first of 2 home runs for the big Bears slugger.
So the Cal Bears, arguably the hottest team in the league, certainly looked good a couple days ago, beating Washington 12-0, out to a 5-1 lead here on Arizona. And the first pitch hit deep to left off the bat of Schultz. Could this be his second home run of the night? And it is. A 2-run home run. It's 7-1 California.
7-1 was the big number that the Wildcats would have to come back from in that ball game last night. But again, 9 lives. These Cats, they just do not go away. And I mentioned Mason White. He had hit a mammoth 3-run shot on Wednesday night that had turned around the game against the Washington Huskies, a game that Arizona had trailed 2-1. White's home run gave Arizona a 4-2 lead on their way to beating UW, and Mason White would start the comeback again on Thursday.
And in the bottom of the 6th inning, Mason White will lead it off. Then we'll see Garen Caulfield and Maddox Mikalakis. Bears up by 6 runs, and the first pitch coming to White, and it's hit deep to right field. And like last night, a home run for White to right field, and this one almost as far out as the one we saw last night, his 19th home run of the season. And the Wildcats now down 7-2. RBI number 65 for Mason White.
But they needed some more to try to get back at these Cal Golden Bears. Arizona, though, would get a little bit closer in the 8th inning. 2 on, 1 out. Maddox Mikalakis came to the plate.
And here's the pitch, and that's drilled to right and fairly deep. It could be. It is out of here. Mikalakis with a 3-run shot, and the Wildcats are back in this game. They needed a big hit, and they just got it.
7-5 was the score at that point, and that would be your final on the ball game, as the Wildcats could not get any closer to the California Golden Bears. The Cal Bears advanced to the semifinals as the winners of Pool A. They have already played today. They played in the first semifinal game against the Southern California Trojans. It was a game in which the Golden Bears led early today by a quick score of 2-0, but the the Trojans came storming back in that ball game, and USC knocks off the Golden Bears to advance to the Pac-12 Conference Championship game. Final score in the first semifinal was USC 7 and California 4. So the Wildcats are trying to get to their second Pac-12 tournament championship game. You'll remember they advanced to that game last year and played the Oregon Ducks, losing to the Oregon Ducks, but still finishing strong enough down the stretch that Arizona was able to make the Pac-12 tournament. One of the players who has been making a difference for the Arizona Wildcats of late has been their senior catcher, Blake McDonald. If it's a name that does not necessarily sound real familiar to you, it's because Blake McDonald is a transfer. This is his first season at the University of Arizona, played 2 seasons at St. Mary's College. After transferring there, he played 2 years of junior college at Santa Rosa. That was 20 and 21, and then St. Mary's in 22 and 23 before calling Tucson and U of A his home for his 5th season. And so Blake McDonald has split the catcher's duty this year a lot with Adonis Guzman for the Arizona Wildcats, but has been getting into the lineup a little bit more as of late. He's hitting .305 on the season. He has started 23 games for the Wildcats. He has 2 home runs this year to go along with 14 RBIs. And we had a chance to catch up with Blake McDonald, who talked a little bit about his role with the team this year and playing here at the University of Arizona.
I don't think there's been too much of a difference. I think he's got a lot of really good stuff, and it's hard for guys to pick up on him. A couple times through the order, guys are obviously going to hit better. That's why starters' ERAs are typically higher than those of relievers, and Tonko's got a really good slider and a really good fastball, and it plays well in the bullpen. So I think it just comes down to Vance figuring out what guys do best, and he's been excellent at that role.
How did you kind of sense that he accepted that role when they took him out of the rotation?
I think we have a lot of very selfless guys. He's been awesome about it, and I know Zastro started a lot last year, and he hasn't complained once about coming out of the pen. So I think it just comes down to guys being selfless, and Tonko's been a really good job of that. I've never heard him complain one time, and he's been really good about that.
Where's this whole banana thing come from?
I don't really know, to be honest. I think that's a better question. I don't know if you asked Tonko about that and some of the other guys. I kind of try to stay out of the way of that and let the bullpen guys do their thing, but it's helping us win. I know that.
You mentioned Andrew Kane. What's kind of been cool to watch the emergence of a young guy like that?
I think it's really cool. I mean, Kane's been doing a great job. Having sporadic at-bats throughout the season, and then when he gets his opportunity, he's done a really good job of coming in and contributing for us, and I think that's one of the big things. We've had a lot of guys come up big for us. We have a lot of depth, and it's been huge.
Chip used hot hand to describe you getting the starts again, and that's kind of how he's looking at it for that position. Why do you think things have been working so well for you at the plate?
I think it's just my process, just sticking to my plan, and I've continued to do that, and I think I mentioned this to you guys a couple weeks ago, not changing anything, like when I was playing or not playing. And so I've just stuck to that. I found a couple things to simplify my swing and to work, and it's been working out. So I think I'm going to have continued success, and we'll stick to it.
Did you figure those things out in terms of simplifying?
It's a little bit of me, and it's a little bit of Toby. Toby's done a great job helping me in my swing. I think last year, I just kind of was a little bit on my own, when I was at St. Mary's and figuring stuff out for myself. But Toby's really helped me come into myself and my swing, and he's something I can rely on.
What were those things?
I just simplified. Normally when you have a good swing, you're not adding things, but you're subtracting, taking things out. So I've subtracted some things. I was a little bit wider last year. I'm a little bit taller, a little bit looser. Just simple things that have helped me out, really.
Sharing time with Adonis, what's the relationship like?
Donnie and I have a great relationship, and I think we understood, from the beginning. Chip, he told us what it was going to be, and he was perfectly truthful about it. He said, we're going to split games at the beginning, and if one guy starts hitting better, that guy's going to play, and that's kind of what happened. Donnie started hitting; he was hitting better than I was, and not that Donnie. I don't think Donnie's not hit good. I think I've just been hitting good, so that's why I've been playing. But yeah, the relationship's really good. I love coming to the field every day and hanging out with Donnie. He's a great person for our clubhouse. I think he's really changed the vibe here, and it's been really good for us.
That this team has, you obviously don't have the same basis of comparison to last year's team or the year before, but you've been here since last summer. How would you describe what the chemistry is like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. It comes down to fun. This team has a great time together. We mesh really well, and I think it's cool. There's a lot of different personalities on this team. I mean, there's personalities that I haven't encountered in my life before on this team, and we've really found a way to come together, and it's been really great for us. And I think it comes down to the coaches too. Like, they allow us to be free and play free, and we kind of translate that onto the field and in the locker room. So it's a good relationship with everyone.
Have you ever been on a team where there's tension between the hitters and the pitchers, because one side kind of isn't holding their end of the bargain?
No, honestly, not too much. So I heard that was kind of the deal last year, but no, I don't think I've been a part of a team where it's been that drastic.
What do you mean personalities you haven't encountered?
Just guys I haven't met, before, and just yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. Just different personalities. Just people I haven't encountered before, and trying to situate with them and figure out how to mesh together. It's been really important and really good for us.
What's the one thing as a competitor that you like from each of your top three starters, Jackson?
I think they go about their work the right way, and they're extremely consistent. I think that's one of the things you want out of a starter is give you a chance to win and show up the same way every day. And they do that. Clark, Jackson, and Walty all have great routines, and they show up and give us a chance to win every game. And that's kind of all you can ask for. And I think at times we overwhelm teams because our starters are so consistent that they give us a chance, and we kind of just pound on them.
That was Blake McDonald, the senior catcher for the Arizona Wildcats. At the top of that, he was talking about Tonko Suzak and the job that he has done as emerging as one of the primary hitters at the back end of this lineup. And if you look really at Blake McDonald, and he talked about it there, he was not hitting the ball very well through about the beginning of April. He was hitting 179 at one point, but he, in his last 11 games, of which he has started, he has hits in 9 of those 11 games, dating back to the April 14th game against Louisiana Tech, and he is batting .429 during that stretch, is Blake McDonald. So Blake has kind of gotten hot towards the end of the season, and that's why you've seen his bat in the lineup a little bit more.
Is it not Bonanko Susak? Everybody's trying to figure out that mystery of who came up with who started the banana thing.
Bonanko?
I think he might have just got called out right there.
And did you see the guy in the banana suit? He was sitting right behind the pitch, behind the plate.
It's like a hat. Like a hat face, banana hat face. Buy-in
is like the term banana. I don't know how that got into banana. We've tried to get to the bottom of that with a bunch of players. It's really weird how some of the everybody's into it, but nobody wants to admit that they're into it. They kind of all are kind of like Mason White was like, I don't know anything about it, and a couple other guys were like, yeah, I don't really know what's going on with that. I kind of stay away from it.
I feel like
nobody wants to really be a part of it, but even though they're all a part of it.
I feel like football, basketball superstitions are personal. Like, Michael Jordan used to wear his UNC shorts underneath his Bulls shorts for every game.
Yeah.
Jason Terry, cat socks, that kind of thing. But when it comes to baseball, it's a group psychosis. It's like they all get into this thing together. And then if you talk about it, it's like making a birthday wish, DK. If you start talking about it, maybe that magic will go away. So I think you would know better than I would, but it seems to me when a group like this comes together and comes up with very personal superstition type of thing or whatever it is going on behind the scenes, if you ask any of them about it, it's pretty standard that they defer and, I don't know who started it, or I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes.
It's like they don't want to give up the secret.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very interesting, but good to see Blake McDonald kind of getting hot at the right time of the year for the Arizona Wildcats. Him and Adonis Guzman have both done a tremendous job in that catching position this season for your Arizona Wildcats. We are taking you up to first pitch tonight, Arizona and Stanford. Brian Jeffries' coverage will begin at 6:50. First pitch is 7:05. Arizona versus Stanford. Before we head to break, we'll update you on what is happening in Stillwater, Oklahoma right now. Game 1 of the NCAA Softball Super Regionals. Arizona in the bottom of the 4th now, trailing Oklahoma State by a score of 5-0. The ball has all of a sudden started to fly out of the ballpark. We mentioned to you that Carly Godwin had homered for the Cowgirls. Now Claire Tim and Michaela Work have also homered for the Cowgirls. So 3 solo home runs, not a lot of batters on base to pump up that number, but still 3 solo home runs has led to 5 runs for the Oklahoma State Cowgirls, and they lead 5-0 with that game in the bottom of the 4th. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in with us on this Arizona baseball pregame extra. If you want to talk some Wildcat baseball, perhaps some Wildcat softball, we can do that for you as we've got you for about another 34 minutes or so. We'll take a time out here. We'll come back. We'll chat with Roxy Bernstein, who will call tonight's game between the Wildcats and the Stanford Cardinal on the Pac-12 network. It's the Arizona Baseball Pregame Extra, and you're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today.
Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Did you know Economy Plumbing Service specializes in 2-day in-home repiping? So get rid of that old galvanized or polybutylene pipe and give us a call at 885-3510. Also, while we're at it, is your water heater acting up? Are your toilets backing up? Is the drip, drip, drip keeping you up? Then what are you waiting for? Give Economy Plumbing Service a call today, 885-3510, or visit us at economyplumbingservice.com. Because if water goes through it or to it, we do it.
As a homeowner, you've probably seen some pretty bad plumbing problems.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
We've seen them all.
All of them?
Rams Plumbing kept entire buildings flowing, businesses, since 1983.
Wow, so whatever happens to my house...
We've seen it before, and we have the solution. Locally owned and operated, Ram Plumbing is Tucson's most trusted plumber. Our team of licensed professionals can fix anything your home can dish out. When your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double. Online at bestplumbertucson.com.
Hi, this is Mary with my friends at Mesquite Valley Growers. MVG has a brand new comfort-controlled tropical house full of beautiful tropical indoor plants. Green plants of every size to bring inside your home, apartment, office, even your bedroom. Mesquite Valley Growers has a solution to any space, anywhere, both inside and outside. Mesquite Valley Growers on Speedway just east of Pantano. Open 7 days a week. Mesquite Valley Growers, real experience, real nursery.
Arizona baseball tonight in the Pac-12 semifinals against the Stanford Cardinal. They'll play the other half of the Bay Area after losing to the California Golden Bears last night by a score of 7-5. One of the gentlemen that called the game on TV joins us now. He has joined us before. His name is Roxy Bernstein. And Roxy, how's life up in Scottsdale at the final Pac-12 conference tournament?
It's certainly interesting, David, because as you alluded to, this is the final event essentially for the Pac-12 as we know it. And so we're crowning a champion tomorrow, and tonight's going to be interesting and probably emotional because when I sign off for the Arizona-Stanford game coming up in a bit, that is the last live event ever produced by the Pac-12 network. So wow. It's going to be emotional. There is a game, and that's paramount. The game is the most important thing tonight. But in the big grand scheme of things, it's certainly an eventful night for a lot of us.
So I'll ask you then, Roxy, are there plans within the production to kind of celebrate all of what has been the Pac-12 and the Pac-12 network over the course of the last 12 years?
Yeah, there is. We have a plan going into tonight, and because I'm calling the game tomorrow night, the championship on ESPNU. And we also have a plan how to handle that tomorrow night as well. So this is, yes, the game is paramount. The tournament champion certainly is front and center. But in the big picture, there's a lot of other things going on as well. And you can't ignore it. And, over 9,000 events have been produced by the Pac-12 network over the 12-year history of the network, and tonight, it's the last one.
So what do you make of your, I'll let folks know, Roxy Bernstein is a graduate. He is a Pac-12 graduate, just like I am. I'm a Pac-12 graduate of the University of Southern California. Roxy is a Pac-12 graduate of the California University of California. Of course, it was the Pac-10 back when we were young and in school, or it might have been even the six-pack back when we were young and in school. I don't even know if USC and Cal played back in the days when we were in school. But what do you make of your team and how hot they've become? I mean, one of the hottest teams in the country right now.
It is a great story, the way they're playing. As, closing in down the stretch, and the season kind of turned when they swept Oregon State. They get off to a great start. There's a lot of talent, David, on the Cal team, and they have some pitching issues. And they hit a bump in the road. When Arizona swept them with 3 close games in Berkeley. And it's funny, I was talking to Chip Hale about it a couple of weeks ago, and Chip and his staff, they were talking about leaving Evans Diamond after the sweep, and Chip says to one of his assistants, goes, how the heck did we sweep that series? Because, but Arizona's really good too, as we know. But something clicked with this Cal team here down the stretch, and they surprised a lot of people by winning Pool A, getting to the semis, and I think they put themselves in a position where they should be in the NCAA tournament, regardless of how this weekend plays out.
We're chatting with Roxy Bernstein, Pac-12 Network announcer. He'll be on the call tonight, Arizona and Stanford. I want to go back, though, to last night's game, Roxy. Jackson Kent, he struggled now in 4 straight games, ERA 10.13 in his last 4 starts. And maybe the most concerning is this was a guy that did not give up a lot of home runs early in the season, and he's now given up 5 in his last 3 games. When your number one starter is struggling at the most important time of the season, how do you look at that if you're Chip Hale and his coaching staff?
I think it's concerning, David, about that spot in the rotation right now, in which you alluded to the last 4 starts. And look, he's faced some good teams. Pitching in Salt Lake City is not easy, as we know, but also facing Oregon State, and Cal's a red-hot team. So I think that has to be factored in also. But when they're looking at next week, because we know Arizona is going to be in the NCAA tournament, regardless if they win this thing or not. And for me, if they win the tournament here in Scottsdale, they should be a regional host. If you win the Pac-12 regular season and tournament championship, that should be expected and assumed. I don't know how it's going to play out, but you never know what the committee is thinking. But as you move forward into next week, for me, look, Chip Hale knows his team better than I do, and Kevin Vance, the pitching coach, and they're going to have to tweak some things. But for me, I would start Clark Candiotti and make him my number one next week, and maybe push Jackson Kent to the number 3 spot in the rotation behind Cam Walty. Let's face it. Yeah, Kent is the number 1. He's gone on Friday nights. But it's really 1A, 1B, and 1C when you look at the Arizona rotation.
I'm glad you said that, so I did not have to, because that's what I've been thinking the course of the last few weeks. I'm like, I don't know, Clark Candiotti kind of seems to be the guy that I think I might want at the top of my rotation right now, because you definitely don't want to put yourself down in that elimination hole right off the bat with a guy in your number 1 starter position that might be struggling. Clark Candy obviously will get the ball tonight. You've been around the big league game for a long time. I'm sure you probably saw his dad pitch maybe in the big leagues. What do you like about Clark Candiotti and what he brings as a pitcher?
I love the way he competes. And he's out there. First off, David, as we know, he's got great stuff, right? He's running the fastball up there in the mid-90s. But the command that he has and the work ethic is the thing that really impresses me about him. And seeing how hard he works, talking to Chip Hale and Kevin Vance about him, but also talking to Dad. I've known Candy for a while. And first off, Tom is one of the nicest people you're going to meet. Mm-hmm. But the thing I really admire about a lot of kids don't want to hear it from Dad, even though Dad was in the big leagues for 16 years, and they don't want necessarily the constructive criticism. Clark has made a point to tell Dad, look, I want to know what you see. The only way I want to get better, and I want to see through your eyes. And they have, at times, heated conversations because Tom coaches him hard, and that's what Clark wants. And I think it's a great relationship the two of them have. Tom goes back and breaks down every start, and they go through it. And there's usually things Tom says that they go over after every outing. So the relationship those two have is great. You have the son of a former major leaguer who's got talent, and it's great to see him flourish after. Look, he's had a career where I don't want to say he's been a nomad, but he's been at 5 schools, right? Started at St. Mary's, went to a couple of junior colleges, had a solid year at Wichita State last year, but has really turned into a fine pitcher this year with the Cats.
We're joined by none other than Roxy Bernstein, Pac-12 Network announcer, Wildcats, and the Stanford Cardinal. What does Stanford present? What issues do they present for Arizona in this one-off affair here tonight?
They're talented, but they're inexperienced. Look, they're feeling good about themselves right now after winning their pool, and it's unexpected being the 8th seed, and they came into the Pac-12 tournament. Stanford lost 10 in a row prior to the win against Arizona State on Tuesday to start the tournament. They have talent, but it's a completely new team for David Esco, a program that's used to winning. They've been to Omaha each of the last 3 years. And they're going to play with that sense of urgency because they know if they lose tonight, the season's over. So Stanford's going to play with that desperation, but Arizona's the better base team, as we know. Plus, they have Candiotti going against Matt Scott, who leads the Pac-12 in strikeouts, talented pitcher. But Arizona should feel pretty confident about their chances tonight against Stanford, even though the Stanford Cardinal have won their pool and they're 2-0 so far here in this tournament.
Yeah, and I guess the thing for Stanford is don't hit the ball into left center field or down the left field line because Brendan Summerhill and Brandon Rogers are going to go run down everything.
Boy, those catches Brandon Rogers made in left field last night were just sensational. I mean, the diving catch that he had moving over toward the line, you can see all the tools and why Arizona's so excited about his future and what he's capable of doing. But the way he can play left field, it's funny. Look, this is high praise, but it's reminiscent for me of a young Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Just the way he runs out there with his athleticism, that he is a special talent. And look, he strikes out too much right now, but he can figure out the plate. That's the big thing for him is the consistency with his swing, reading pitches. If he can figure that out, he's got potential to one day to be a major player.
It's funny you mentioned Bo Jackson in that respect. I don't know if you saw the weight room videos from the fall, but he was a weight room beast. I mean, the team was putting out videos of him doing squats and lifting, just throwing iron around the workout facility at McHale Center. I mean, Brandon Rogers is a strong guy built out of that Bo Jackson type strong ball player that we remember so much in the 1980s. Did you see any of those videos?
I did not see him. But now I have to go search in YouTube to find him.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I got to see these now.
Yeah, he can move some metal. Let's just put it that way. When you look at this team right now in terms of Arizona, Mason White, who's probably hit 2 of the longest home runs that we've seen at that stadium, man. You'd like to see him get hot right now.
And he seems he's trending in that direction with the 2 balls he's absolutely destroyed in this tournament so far. But he's just really scratching the surface, to be honest with you. I thought he had a really good year last year. Has made the adjustment to shortstop. I'm not sure if his future, David, is at shortstop when he gets to the next level because he will play professionally and then, hopefully moves up through the minors and gets a chance in the big leagues. But he's not the biggest guy, as we know. But, boy, he gets his bat through the zone. He drives the ball, he gets power, and he gets the most out of what he's got. And he has the ability to take over games. And when you're pitching to Arizona and you look at that lineup, he's the guy you circled if you're the opposition. We can't let this guy beat us. And you got to hope he doesn't come up in a spot where he can really do damage.
All right, how many teams get in from the Pac-12 to the tournament?
Well, I think as of right now, 4 are in. And I'm optimistic with my Cal Bears being the 4th team. If somehow Stanford wins this, then the Pac-12 could get 5. But realistically, I think 4. I think Oregon State will be a host. They probably play their way out of being a top 8 national seed. For me, Arizona, if they win this tournament, that they should be a host as well. Oregon is firmly in the field. And I think my Cal's win over Arizona last night, that puts them in as well. So I think the conference will get 4.
Roxy Bernstein joining us, Pac-12 Network. Roxy, give me your fondest Pac-12 baseball moment, whether it came as a student or whether it came as an announcer as an adult? What's that one
For me,
Pac-12 moment you remember the most?
just on a personal level, David, the run Cal went on in 2011 to get to Omaha in the College World Series, that's the one for me, because that was the year they were going to cancel the program.
Yeah.
They were going to drop it, and it was going to be eliminated, and it was saved during the course of that season. And the improbable run that Cal made to be able to go to the College World Series that year and in dramatic fashion win the regional in Houston like they did. And then I saw the Cal fan base show up when they hosted a Super Regional against Dallas Baptist, and I've never seen that for Cal baseball before. So that is the number one memory for me. And then another one is really what Stanford has done recently, just because I've called their regionals and the way they have gotten to Omaha the last few years and coming back through the losers bracket and in dramatic fashion 2 years ago when they beat Texas State, when they hit back-to-back homers in the bottom of the ninth to tie it, and Trevor Haskins, who is Stanford's starting shortstop now, was a freshman. He had like 7 at-bats all season, and he came up with a regional winning hit. And it was the best atmosphere, David, at Stanford I have seen outside of a football game, maybe outside of a women's basketball game too, because it's funny. The crowd, it was sold out to begin with, and it just seemed the crowd as the night kept going on, kept getting bigger and bigger, and people found their way in a sunken diamond. And when they won it against Texas State, it was just incredible to see.
And lastly, Roxy, before we let you go, what's your biggest surprise of the first 2 months of the Major League season?
Biggest surprise. I think that the way the Houston Astros have started this season,
yeah,
I think that it's been a disappointment. They're playing better recently, and I was around them a couple times already this year. But I think they're a disappointment, to be honest with you. So much talent on that squad, and they just haven't figured it out. But the good news for them is that the Rangers, who everybody thought was the favorite in that division, haven't run away with it. Seattle's the team to catch right now, but Houston is playing much better baseball. And look, we thought the Phillies were going to be good. I don't think we thought Philadelphia would be this good.
Yeah. Well, Roxy, we look forward to talking to you this summer so we can figure out for all of us what's next and what's happening and how the world is going to transpire with everything that's going on, with a move to the Big 12 for our school, a move to the ACC for your school, the breakup of the Pac-12, and what took place yesterday with the NCAA and the Power Fives. It's going to be a very interesting life moving forward in college athletics.
Yeah, if anybody has a clue how this is going to continue moving forward, please let me know, because I'd like to know.
I said that earlier in the show. I said we can talk about this, but I have no idea what's going to happen.
No, we have no clue.
No.
And just when you think you figured it out, it goes to show you know absolutely nothing.
Absolutely. Roxy, have a great call tonight with our guy, Wes Clements.
You got it. Anytime, David. Thanks for having me.
Roxy Bernstein, and again, Wes Clements, U of A national champion, 1980. He'll be on the call tonight of that game. Wildcats and Stanford Cardinal, 7:05 first pitch. Brian Jeffries gets his coverage rolling here in about 15 and a half minutes. See, we are down to the half minute on you. 6:50, he'll take over Arizona and Stanford. Updating your NCAA softball super regional right now, happening in Stillwater, Oklahoma. The Wildcats are down to their last strike in this game as they are trailing 8-0 in the top of the fifth. So if they do not score here, they will lose in a run rule in game one to the Oklahoma State Cowgirls, meaning that it will have to be a back-to-back winning situation starting with tomorrow and game number 2 in Stillwater if the Wildcats want to have a chance to go back to the College World Series. So first 2 years for Caitlin Lowe, World Series, no NCAA tournament, and it has just gone final as the Oklahoma State Cowgirls close out the top of the fifth. Dakota Kennedy grounds out your final score from Stillwater in game 1, Oklahoma State 8, Arizona 0. The Wildcats got just 3 hits in this game. They were out hit 8-3, 8 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Cowgirls. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for Arizona. The 15th straight home win for the Oklahoma State Cowgirls in postseason play.
Let's go to break on a good note. Arizona Golf in the NCAA tournament at La Costa North Course out there in Carlsbad, they're currently +2. They're right around the 16 through 18 hole area. DK finishing up the first round. Currently third. In third solo, Georgia Tech and Virginia both at +1. Arizona 1 stroke behind.
That's how it's going. They were, last time we checked, they were on top of the leaderboard, but now one shot off the pace as they close out the first round. But again, a very good start to this event. Wildcats need to be top 8. They need to be top 8 in order to make the match play quarterfinals. It's a familiar place for the Arizona women's golf team, but it is not a place that this Arizona men's golf team has been to in quite some time. In fact, I don't know that they've ever been to the match play round since it went to the match play quarterfinals. So this could be a first for Jim Anderson's crew in Carlsbad this weekend. We'll keep keep some tabs on that all weekend long. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, Twitter at Wildcats1290, Facebook at Wildcats Radio 1290, as well as Instagram, Wildcats Radio 1290. We'll have updates on all of the postseason, as well as the Arizona men's and women's track teams who are at the West prelims, or what they call now the NCAA first round, as a lot of qualifying still left to be decided over the course of today and tomorrow as they try to punch tickets to the NCAA championships, which will be next weekend in Eugene, Oregon. It's the Arizona Baseball pregame extra as we get you set for the Wildcats and the Stanford Cardinal. We'll have much more coming up for you. I'm David Kelly, along with J.W. Madden. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-290-1583. 800-290-1583. Again, that's 800-290-1583. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to EnduranceWarranty.com.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Hey guys, what are you...
Gotta take this. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Thank you for... Uh-huh. Right. You don't say. Uh-huh. Now.
Hold it. What's with all the nows?
People want to know the best time for an elastification.
And you're telling them...
Hello? Now.
Well, there's no bad time for elastification, but the best time is now.
Pretty soon, Arizona temps are going to put a strain on your AC.
Now is really the best time.
You're not telling people about all the money they save?
Now.
Or how Alaskan AC will make their AC last longer?
Now.
Or the big 1-year guarantee that their AC will not break down?
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Well, Ron wants to tell you a bunch of stuff. I know. That's kind of what I told him. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, now.
The best time for elastification is...
now.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com. Now.
What do you mean, trenchless?
Means no trench.
But it's the sewer line.
And they did it without ruining my yard.
The yard we're standing in?
The very same.
I don't know if I trust that.
I trust that because I trust them.
Them?
Ram Plumbing. Locally owned and operated Ram Plumbing, offering a comprehensive range of plumbing services from fixtures to installation to trenchless sewer replacement. Turn to Tucson's most trusted plumber. When your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double. Online at bestplumbertucson.com.
And we're back here on the Arizona pregame extra, Arizona baseball pregame extra. I'm David Kelly, getting you set for the Wildcats and the Stanford Cardinal from Scottsdale Stadium. It is the Pac-12 baseball semifinals. In the early game today, it was the USC Trojans knocking off the California Golden Bears 7-4. So USC awaits in the title game the winner of this game tonight between the Wildcats and the Cardinal. It'll be Clark Candiati on the mound. He is 6-3 with a 3.27 earned run average. He'll be opposed by Matt Scott. Matt Scott is 4-9 with a 5.92 earned run average. Now, the Wildcats faced Matt Scott in the opener when Stanford came down here to Tucson back in the late April, and they got to him pretty good. The Wildcats put up 7 earned runs, 8 runs total on 9 hits, as Scott lasted just 4 1/3 innings. He did strike out 7 and did not walk a batter in that matchup against Jackson Kent in the opener that night. However, he will get the man known as Clark Candiati tonight in Scottsdale. In fact, let's hear from Clark Candiati. We had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week. Clark Candiati, who talked about coming to play for Chip Hale here in Tucson and why he decided to do that.
How good of a coach he was and that he would bring back the legacy to University of Arizona. Just knowing of his success, that's kind of what brought me here.
Your dad, I think, was teammates with him back in the day. Did he tell you anything just as a guy?
I mean, he said he's a great guy, of course, and he knows how to win. He knows how to manage. So, I mean, all of that just aided my decision coming here.
Clark, walk us through your outing against Oregon State, how you felt about it, what was tough about navigating that lineup and all those tough hitters.
I mean, they're a really good team. It was a difficult team to pitch against. Just kind of had to go right after them for the most part. I mean, that's what all three of us did. And a little help from the team on some points. So I just think going right after them and just giving them the best shot.
What are some of the things that Chip has done this season to kind of keep the team on track and focused through the ups and downs of the season?
I think just keeping everyone together and making sure that everyone's on the same page and no one's getting left behind, so to speak. So just making sure everyone's right up top, right at that level, and just, I mean, always moving forward, never getting stuck on events in the past. So just always staying confident and just keep moving forward.
After what had happened the first 2 nights, what did you love about the way Cam, attacked that lineup?
I mean, he just went right after him. I mean, he's been really, really good all year. He's been super consistent. And, I mean, just like always, he always takes the ball and goes out there with his best stuff.
Chip had talked about that 9th inning where they had discussed walking Bazana there, but decided to pitch to him. Were you surprised at all they made that decision?
I wasn't surprised, no. I mean, he's just like everybody else. Just go right after him. He's got to hit the ball just like everyone else. He's got to see pitches from the same pitcher. So, I mean, I think it was a good idea. Just go right after everyone.
It was your...
All right, that was Clark Candiati talking this week. He'll get the start tonight for the Arizona Wildcats. In fact, here is your starting lineup for the Wildcats against the Stanford Cardinal tonight. Batting first, playing center field is Brendan Summerhill. Hitting second at second base, Garen Caulfield. Mason White is in the cleanups, I should say, in the number 3 position tonight. He'll play shortstop. Maddox Mikalakis in the cleanup spot and will play over at third base. The designated hitter is Andrew Kane tonight. He will hit 5th. Blake McDonald bats 6th. He will catch for Arizona. Tommy Splain plays first base. He's going to hit 7th tonight in Chip Hale's lineup. Easton Breifogel will bat 8th and play in right field. And Brandon Rogers, who made 2 fine catches last night, will hit 9th and be in left field. Clark Candiati, again, is your pitcher for Arizona. Did you know Arizona and Stanford are the only 2 teams in the conference who have advanced to the semifinals in all 3 years of this Pac-12 baseball tournament? The Wildcats losing in the semifinals 2 years ago, getting to the finals last year and losing to Oregon. So I guess that's how the progression goes. You get to the finals this year, and the Wildcats should be able to win it. That remains to be seen. They are the number 1 seed, And if they do win, we'll be back on Saturday night. Well, we won't be back, but Brian Jeffries will be back with another call of a game, which will start at 7:05 with coverage at 6:50. All right, that is going to wrap up our coverage here today.
Before we do that really quick, I neglected to mention during the DK on the Sports Ship portion of today's afternoon programming, big congrats to all the teachers out there. DK, today was the last day of school.
Yes.
So they made it. They made it through the whole year.
Yes, congratulations. I've been seeing a lot of the graduations around Southern Arizona this week. Always a fun time. Graduates celebrate responsibly, but enjoy it because you've worked hard and you absolutely deserve everything that you have gotten. Thanks to J.W. Madden for producing this show. Coming up next, it's number 18 Arizona and Stanford in the Pac-12 Conference semifinals. Brian Jeffries with the call. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, everybody, and bear down, Arizona.
The Dell Technologies